Chapter 1034. 3 days later. Fog pervaded the place. Dongbo Shuang was currently drinking alone, in a pavilion by the lake. A spear was placed on his knees. Because the incarnation of Old Mother Ying Shan was in the ardent fire city, Dongbo Shuang merely sent his consciousness into the spear body to comprehend it. He did not practice it. As they drank, Ying occasionally poured wine for them. Snow Eagle, a voice rang out. The red-haired male Marquis Ardent Fire, and another black-robed bewitching young man flew over. Dongbo Shuang kept his spear and stood up. Marquis, Dongbo Shuang replied. His eyes couldn't help but land on the black-robed devilish young man. The devilish young man was holding a folding fan in one hand, and was fanning himself. His aura was extremely devilish as well. I'm demonic servant Blood Rain. The black-robed demonic young man folded his fan and bowed. Old Mother bestowed upon me the name Ying Shan Zibai. In the future, I will be Prince's protector. The day Prince breaks through to the primal chaos realm will be the day I return to the ancestral family. Dongbo Shuang was shocked. Demonic servant Blood Rain? It was rare for flesh puppets to reach the primal chaos realm, and there were even fewer that could be mass-produced. The magic servant Chao Qing was considered one of the weakest. It was the cheapest, but it still required 50 million cosmos crystals. There were some that could be refined into cosmos gods. But the magic servant Blood Rain was different. Only one of the 6 great ancient nations, the Summer Wind Ancient Nation, could refine it. Usually, it could maintain strength at the God Yuan Palace 7th level. At the crucial moment, he could ignite his body to unleash the power of the Divine Yuan Palace level 8. Because of the damage to his body after the battle, he would need to absorb a large amount of external items to replenish himself. A magic servant that could erupt with a God Yuan Palace 8th level power. This was a horrifying price. It was comparable to the price of 6 Chao Qings. Marquis Ardent Fire might not be able to afford it even if he sold his entire fortune. Only Old Mother Ying Shan could easily buy him, and bestow him the name Ying Shan Zibai. I'll have to trouble Zibai in the future. Dongbo Shuang said. It is my honor to be your guard. Zibai held a folding fan in his hand and bowed gracefully. Snow Eagle. Old Ancestor is afraid that the mastermind of this assassination would not let the matter rest. That is why he sent Zibai over. Marquis Ardent Fire said. You didn't manage to find out who the mastermind is? Dongbo Shuang asked. I can only deduce that he should be a devil from the Black Devil Great Lake. Marquis Ardent Fire shook his head. Dongbo Shuang's heart tightened. Black Devil Great Lake? Including the Southern Cloud Nation, the surrounding 4 nations were collectively known as the Black Devil 4 Nations. Why? It was precisely because their neighboring Black Devil Great Lake was a famous gathering place for devils across the entire realm Heart Great Land. Some terrifying devils that were wanted by the 6 great ancient nations, yet could not be dealt with, were hiding in the Black Devil Great Lake. The 6 great ancient kingdoms could still make them flee. As for the other Tier 2 nations like the Southern Cloud Nation, they had a headache dealing with the Black Devil Great Lake. After all, the Black Devil Great Lake had more than 10 cosmos gods, and there were even terrifying great devils that had once wreaked havoc in the 6 great ancient nations. A devil from the Black Devil Great Lake sent his subordinates to assassinate me? Dongbo Shuang felt puzzled. It should be an enemy that my Ying Shan clan provoked. Marquis Ardent Fire said. The Ying Shan clan has existed for a long period, and it is inevitable for them to interact with the devils from the Black Devil Great Lake. The Ying Shan clan isn't willing to be bullied and humiliated. Hence, they would occasionally go on a killing spree. Interact with devils? Dongbo Shuang felt bewildered. Why would a conferred king clan in the Southern Cloud Nation interact with devils? Wait until you reach the primal chaos realm. You will know these. Marquis Ardent Fire said. This matter should not be delayed. You should hurry to the capital. All right, I've prepared everything, and can set off any time. Dongbo Shuang grinned. Zibai immediately waved his folding fan. Fanning himself, he chuckled. It has been a long time since I went to the capital. This time, I can follow Prince to the capital to have a look. That day, Dongbo Shuang brought along magic servant Zibai, Tiani Ji, 2 black stream cloud wolves, 9 personal guards, and a female attendant Yinyu. Even though his mother Rong Xinglan asked him to bring more female attendants over, Dongbu Shuang was used to bitterly cultivating in his previous life. Hence, bringing a female attendant was sufficient to deal with his mother. Who, at the Ardent Fire City, they first arrived at one of the 3 great emperor-ranked cities, the Pure Resistance City. Following that, they once again passed through the teleportation array at the Pure Resistance City before heading to the capital. The space regained its calm. A white-robed handsome young man was accompanied by a female attendant, a gray-robed old man, and a black-robed devilish male who was fanning himself. The 2 black stream cloud wolves looked around them and let out a low roar. The 9 personal guards were even more solemn. The southern cloud capital, Dongbu Shuang watched. In the sky, many strands of light were revolving. The city was so big that one could not see the end of it. Being the biggest city in the Southern Cloud Nation, the Southern Cloud King personally presided over the city. It was also the location of one of the 10 great religions in the entire Realm Heart Great Land, the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. The Southern Cloud capital was a famous city in the entire Realm Heart Great Land. It was common for experts from other nations to come here. There were even many superpowers from the 6 great ancient nations that had branches here. The number of cultivators who came to the main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was even more frightening. This Southern Cloud capital feels 10 to 100 times more stable than the Blade Emperor City of the 6 great holy grounds in the primal chaos void. Dongbu Shuang was inwardly startled. No choice. There were too many cosmos gods in the Realm Heart Great Land. Naturally, their understanding of arrays was much deeper. There were likely many who surpassed Wuxia in the field of arrays. In addition, Southern Cloud King was the sect master of one of the 10 great religions. He was considered wealthy even amongst cosmos gods. Naturally, he could purchase some powerful and terrifying arrays. The Southern Cloud King himself was sufficiently frightening. Within the Southern Cloud capital, he was practically unparalleled. Prince, our Yingshan clan has a courtyard here too. Magic servant Zibai chuckled. Why don't you rest in the courtyard first? Old Mother has already arranged for it. Once the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion main religion is done, Prince can head over. All right. Dongbu Shuang nodded. Southern Cloud capital Yingshan courtyard. There were many disciples from the Yingshan clan here. Some were cultivating here, and some were responsible for some businesses. But when Dongbu Shuang came, he immediately became the person with the highest status in the Yingshan courtyard. It's that Snow Eagle Prince. He has come to the capital. Even though there were 3 elders from the ancestral family presiding over this place. But since Dongbu Shuang had magic servant Zibai as his protector, the 3 elders naturally lowered their heads. They did not mind since the Snow Eagle Prince was destined to become a conferred marquis at the Primal Chaos realm in the future. They arranged a banquet to welcome him passionately. Prince Snow Eagle, this isn't the Yingshan city, and neither is it the Ardent Fire City. There were as many experts here as there were clouds in the sky, and there were even more people with distinguished statuses. It is fine if they are royal disciples or geniuses from emperor-ranked clans. But there are some who come from the great clans of the 6 great ancient nations. There are even royal disciples from the 6 great ancient nations. Even the most domineering crown prince of our Southern Cloud Nation does not dare to offend them. That's right. Prince Snow Eagle, it is best for you to be more low profile here. The elders and disciples from the ancestral family were discussing. Dongbu Shuang sighed inwardly when he heard that. Magic servant Zibai fanned himself from the side. He indifferently said, Prince, don't worry. Old Mother asked me to bring along a Southern Cloud Sacred Order. As long as you don't take the initiative to offend her, there is no need for you to care about the disciples from the 6 great ancient nations. Actually, the disciples from the 6 great ancient nations have different statuses too. There aren't many who could force us to retreat. Southern Cloud Sacred Order? The 3 elders from the ancestral family were startled. Southern Cloud Sacred Order. It was bestowed by the king. Old Mother Yingshan only had a single piece of it. Naturally, given the strength of Old Mother Yingshan, the Sacred Order was merely for show. Only in Dongbu Shuang's hands, the Sacred Order could protect him. Old Mother really dotes on Prince Snow Eagle. The three elders and other disciples present could not help but feel envious. Dongbua Shuang was not a cultivation maniac who did not know anything. Naturally, he would not offend a powerful enemy for no reason. On the second day after he arrived at the capital, he immediately set off for the treasured goods market. The treasured goods market could be found in any city. The southern cloud capital was one of the few big cities in the entire realm Heart Great Land. The treasured goods market here was much more flourishing than that of the ardent fire city. Even from afar, one could feel the radiance of treasures diffusing out. There were shops opened by the royal family, and there were also shops opened by the great clans from the 6 great ancient nations. All sorts of treasures could be seen here. Amazing. Truly amazing. Dongbua Shuang looked around. His horizons were broadened. Truly broadened. Amen. Walking on the streets of the treasured goods market, Dongbua Shuang frowned. With a flip of his hand, a spear appeared in his hand. The body of the spear gave off a vague feeling of struggling. It seemed to be attracting something from afar. What is attracting it? Dongbua Shuang felt his heart moving. He hurriedly walked in that direction. Magic servant Zibai, Tianyi, and the others might be puzzled, but they still followed behind. It is over there. Dongbua Shuang saw a shop with a circular pointed roof. Dongbua Shuang's vision penetrated through the void obstruction. He could immediately see the 3rd floor of that circular shop. There were a total of 12 floating treasures, and one of them was a spearhead. Chapter 1035. The spearhead floated there. It seemed simple, yet the spearhead was emitting many distorted spatial ripples. At the same time, many layers of arrays enveloped this spearhead, trapping it like an eggshell. This was also to prevent some customers from having thoughts of snatching it. Even though the entire treasured goods market was covered in arrays, and this was the capital of the southern cloud nation, it was foolish to snatch it. But occasionally, there would be those who were hot-headed and felt that their escaping capabilities were great. Hence, they naturally set up a restriction that prevented them from touching such secret treasures. Let's go take a look at that shop, Dongbua Shuang said. The group of subordinates followed Dongbua Shuang to the front of the shop. The shop occupied a huge area, and there was a unique ancient character above the shop. Fan clan. Magic servant Zibai lightly fanned himself from the side. The Fan clan is one of the 3 biggest clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. It is one of the few clans in the entire realm Heart Great Land. Dongbua Shuang nodded as he listened. The Fan clan was a famous clan in the entire realm Heart Great Land. It was one of the 3 great clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation, and there were dozens of cosmos gods in the Fan clan. Just a single Fan clan could suppress one of the 6 great ancient nations, the Towering Sky Ancient Nation. Clearly, even though the 6 great ancient nations had high statuses, there were still differences in strength. The Towering Sky Ancient Nation was ranked at the bottom. The Fan clan is truly tyrannical. Dongbua Shuang sighed inwardly. A single clan could suppress the Towering Sky Ancient Nation. This prince, please come in. At that moment, a beautiful female attendant came forward to welcome the other party. Dongbua Shuang brought his subordinates in. Even though the first level of the shop was relatively vast, and there were many winding corridors within, Dongbua Shuang's vision could easily penetrate through the many obstructions of the void, allowing him to see the treasures on the first level. There isn't a single secret treasure. Dongbua Shuang shook his head inwardly. Let's go to the 2nd floor. Dongbua Shuang directly went to the 2nd floor. There were some secret treasures on the 2nd floor, but with the judgment of Dongbua Shuang, they were all slightly weaker secret treasures. They were most likely meant for primal chaos existences to use. Soon, Dongbua Shuang headed to the 3rd floor. Sir, you are only allowed to bring 2 subordinates on the 3rd floor. At the staircase leading to the 3rd floor, there was a waiter blocking the way. Obviously, the 3rd floor of this shop was not ordinary. If he brought a group of subordinates with him, what would the bustling scene be like? Zibai Elder Tian, follow me, Dongbua Shuang ordered. Yes. Magic servant Zibai and Tianyi followed behind. The 3 of them arrived at the 3rd floor of the Fan clan's shop. The third floor was about the same size as the first and second floors below. In fact, there were only 12 floating secret treasures, and each of them had a female attendant standing beside them. Young lord, do you wish to see the secret treasures? This branch of my fan clan located in the southern cloud capital is ranked in the top 100 across the many branches spread across the realm Heart Great Land. A plump old man walked over with a chuckle. The faint aura coming from his body was that of a primal chaos expert. Magic Servant Zibai waved his folding fan. He transmitted over. Prince, this old man should be a magic servant too, though I can't discern what kind of magic servant he is. Dongbo Shuang softly nodded. Primal Chaos Realm Magic Servant. For an apex clan like the Fan Clan, they were more willing to let magic servants handle some of their businesses, because magic servants were absolutely loyal and would not be greedy for their possessions. Prince, please take a look at this secret treasure, the Cloud Sky Hammer. The plump old man pointed to an enormous black hammer that was floating by the side that was taller than a human. This is a secret weapon used by the famous Paragon Matron Slave from the Towering Sky Ancient Nation during the First War of the Ancient Nations. Paragon Matron Slave later refined a secret treasure that was more suitable for her, and this Cloud Sky Hammer was no longer used. After many transactions, it landed in the hands of my fan clan, and we temporarily placed it here. It is also considered the protection treasure of our branch in the southern cloud capital. Oh right, this secret treasure also contains an absolute art of Paragon Matron Slave, the Cloud Sky Hammer technique. Dongbo Shuang looked at that floating black hammer that was emitting a horrifying pressure. This was much more terrifying than the 12 primal beads he once owned. What's the price? Dongbo Shuang asked. The plump old man grinned. 8 billion cosmos crystals. The eyelids of Dongbo Shuang twitched when he heard that. 8 billion? Could old Mother Yingshan afford it? That might not be the case. After all, this is a weapon used by Paragon Matron Slave during the First War of the Ancient Nations. Several cosmos gods have died under this weapon. The plump old man said. It is worth it for cosmos gods to sell all their treasures to buy it. Dongbo Shuang understood after hearing it. This was a protection treasure, and it was something the Fan Clan deliberately used to flaunt their foundation. How could such a treasure be sold so easily? Most formidable secret treasures would only be bought by powerful cultivators that they liked. Only then would they be willing to pay a high price. Amazing, amazing. Dongbo Shuang gave a few words of praise before continuing looking at other secret treasures. Walking and stopping at times, he soon arrived at the spearhead that Dongbo Shuang longed for. This spearhead has some origin. The plump old man chuckled. Its owner seems to have some relationship with my fan clan. Dongbo Shuang felt his heart moving. Its owner? It seemed the Fan Clan knew the detailed origin of this spearhead. A very long time ago, before the First War of the Ancient Nations. That time, the realm Heart Great Land was more chaotic, and not as orderly as it is now. At that time, the Summer Wind Ancient Nation had yet to be founded. The plump old man said. My Fan Clan's great paragon Lu Tian had once befriended a good friend when he roamed the realm Heart Great Land. He was called Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master. That was a horrifying existence not any weaker than great paragon Lu Tian. Nonetheless, Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master was too unbridled and arrogant. He was unwilling to submit and ultimately lost his life. Naturally, that was before the First War of the Ancient Nations. I only know bits and pieces of it. But this spearhead has been seen by great paragon Lu Tian before. It is indeed the spearhead of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master's weapon, the Scarlet Cloud Magic Spear. It's a pity that after so many years, only this spearhead is left. The plump old man shook his head. Dongbo Shuang sighed inwardly. Something that happened before the First War of the Ancient Nations? That was indeed illusory. Even the historical records were vague. After all, many ancient nations had yet to be established. Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master? I wonder what the price is. Dongbo Shuang asked. Because it is badly damaged, only the spearhead is left. That's why it is cheap. The plump old man chuckled. 500 million cosmos crystals. 500 million? Dongbo Shuang was stunned. And it was cheap. because cultivating the Southern Cloud sacred body required precious materials, and currently, he only had a total of 50 million cosmos crystals. This was also after Old Mother Ying Shan gave him a total of 50 million cosmos crystals when he broke through to the Unity realm. 500 million cosmos crystals. This price was truly terrifying. It was even more expensive than Magic Servant Zibai. It is truly not expensive. Powerful primal chaos existences can buy it even after selling all their treasures. The plump old man said. After all, it is the weapon of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master. If it were an intact weapon, its price would not be any lower than that Cloud Sky Hammer. But now, it is only 500 million cosmos crystals. That is just a small fraction. He truly could not afford it. Even if he publicized his strength and became a powerful primal chaos existence, he needed time to accumulate treasures. Accumulating treasures? Most of them would be adventuring or fighting. 500 million. Dongbua Shuang felt his heart trembling. No other choice. In a small place like the Ardent Fire City, no one could identify the origin of this spear body. After all, even the inscriptions on the spear body were incomplete. Hence he could buy it cheaply. This spearhead was different. The spearhead was a spear used to attack and kill enemies. Usually, the spearhead would cause many ripples in the surrounding void. One look and one could tell that it was not an ordinary item. Great Paragon Lu Tian had also confirmed its origin. Hence the price naturally rose. After all, it is just a spearhead. The plump old man looked at Dongbua Shuang. He felt that this young man seemed to want to buy it. Hence he added, if you really want it, I can give you a slightly cheaper price. Indeed, it could be cheaper. It had a great origin, but it was ultimately incomplete. The lowest price set by the Fan Clan was actually only 300 million cosmos crystals. How much cheaper? Can I buy it below 100 million cosmos crystals? Dongbua Shuang asked. The plump old man shook his head. Impossible, absolutely impossible. I can only give you a slightly cheaper price. Oh, Dongbua Shuang was slightly disappointed. He had no choice. He could not afford it. But even if he could not afford it, if he could hold on to this spearhead and personally look at the inscriptions flowing within it, even though he could only remember a portion of it after looking at it once, it would still be of great help to him when he combined the mysteries within the spear body. Comprehending the mysteries within the spear body would most likely be 3 to 5 times easier. Can I take a look? Dongbua Shuang looked at the plump old man in front of him. This spearhead was covered in layers of arrays like an eggshell. Clearly, he would not allow customers to see it easily. Chapter 1036. Take a look. The plump old man chuckled. Aren't you looking at it? Can I hold it in my hand? Dongbua Shuang asked. With the obstruction from the arrays, it is impossible for me to see it clearly. I can only see its outer appearance. Who knows how formidable this spearhead is? Is it suitable for me? He had reached the primal chaos realm in the laws and profound mysteries system, and the Tao of Void. He had many doubts when comprehending the spear body. As long as he inspected the profound mysteries within the spearhead, he would be able to see the entire appearance of the spear. Only by carefully examining it can we know if it is suitable. Magic Servant Zibai waved his fan by the side and said, Take it out for a look. The plump old man chuckled. He pointed at the floating spearhead that was wrapped in many layers of restrictions. There are many arrays protecting it. If anyone could look at it, why would there be a need for it to be protected by so many arrays? As he spoke to Dongbua Shuang, the plump old man had already ordered his subordinates to investigate the intelligence of this guest. Chief Manager, this young prince is called Ying Shan Snow Eagle. He is a genius disciple of the Ying Shan clan. He was born as a void god and reached the Unity realm in 8,000 years. The magic servant by the side is Magic Servant Blood Rain, which old Mother Ying Shan bought in the past, because this Snow Eagle little prince has just suffered from an assassination several days ago. The intelligence network of the Fan clan was formidable. Dongbua Shuang was relatively famous in the Southern Cloud Nation. Oh, a small clan like the Ying Shan clan? The plump old man was enlightened. The entire Ying Shan clan was indeed a small clan in his heart. Only old Mother Yingshan was slightly worthy of his attention. As for the others, they could be ignored. Actually, to the Fan clan, only the royal clan in the entire Southern Cloud Nation was worthy of their attention. After all, the Southern Cloud royal clan had an amazing king. Even with the pride of the 6 great ancient nations, they still held this king in high esteem. The other 3 great emperor-ranked clans were all small clans to them. Dongbua Shuang looked at the plump old man with anticipation in his heart. He did not know that the other party treated him as a disciple of a small clan. Indeed, we can only know if it's suitable, if we really look at it carefully. The chubby old man smiled. However, it's protected by layers of arrays. It's impossible for anyone to look at it. Yes, Dongbua Shuang nodded. My Fan clan has its own rules. The chubby old man continued. It depends. Either your strength and status are recognized by us, or you can take out enough treasures to prove that you have the ability to purchase it. Strength and status? Dongbua Shuang was puzzled. Naturally, he did not have the ability to purchase it. His strength is at least that of a conferred king within the Southern Cloud Nation. The plump old man said. Ordinary primal chaos existences aren't qualified to request for it. Status. If it were the princes and princesses of the Southern Cloud Nation, or the disciples from the 6 great ancient nations, with extremely high statuses. Or for instance, the personal disciple of some famous existences in the realm Heart Great Land. Purchasing power is simple. Take out a treasure worth 500 million universe crystals to prove that you can purchase it. The plump old man looked at Dongbua Shuang. Dongbua Shuang was taken aback. There were no treasures. His strength was only at the peak of the 8th level, even if he exerted his full strength. Of course, he who cultivated for just 5 million years did not dare to reveal his strength. Status? Did he not hear it? Even in the royal clan, only a few princes and princesses were qualified. Sorry for disturbing you, Dongbua Shuang said. Let us go. Take care. The plump old man remained smiling. Even though he disdained a small clan like the Yingshan clan, basic courtesy was a rule of doing business. After leaving the shop, he actually did not allow me to see it. Tianiji shook her head. Didn't he say that he either has sufficient strength and status, or he can afford it? Magic servant Zibai fanned himself with his lips curled. Clearly, the Yingshan clan isn't worth mentioning in the eyes of others. Let's go back, Dongbua Shuang indifferently said. He was not angry. After all, the strong preyed on the weak. Naturally, the rules were stricter. Without strength and status, it was normal for others to not allow him to see it since he could not afford it. Let's wait. Wait until I'm stronger and earn enough cosmos crystals before buying it. It isn't an easy matter to sell this secret treasure. Dongbua Shuang thought. For instance, the Cloud Sky Hammer was a shop protection treasure and had been placed here for a long time. That spearhead was after all damaged, and it was harder to sell it. My luck this time is not bad for me to discover the spearhead here. Dongbua Shuang thought. Discovering it was normal, because the Southern Cloud capital was the biggest city in the entire Southern Cloud Nation. It was also the safest city. Even the Fan clan and other apex superpowers in the realm Heart Great Land only had a branch in the entire Southern Cloud Nation. Even the internal superpowers within the Southern Cloud Nation would sell some important treasures in the capital, because there were more external experts in the capital. With Southern Cloud King protecting this place, it was safer. What if some cosmos god snatched away those formidable treasures if they were placed in a small place? Hence, more than 90% of the treasures in the Southern Cloud Nation were gathered in the capital. As for the most apex secret treasures, 99% of them were located in the capital. Dongbua Shuang came to the capital and discovered the spearhead by relying on his senses. Actually, this was something normal. In the following days, Dongbua Shuang also traveled around the Southern Cloud capital. The majority of his time was spent in the treasured goods market. In other times, he would experience various historical remnants and delicacies. Dongbua Shuang, who loved delicacies, discovered quite a few apex delicacies and wines in the Southern Cloud capital. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. Snow Eagle, old ancestor, has already arranged everything. Tomorrow, You and Magic Servant Z will head to where the main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion is located. Marquis Ardent Fire transmitted a message to Dongbua Shuang. All right. Dongbua Shuang was in great joy. The main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, Dongbua Shuang was looking forward to it. Being one of the top 10 great religions in the realm Heart Great Land, it should have collected many absolute art scriptures. One had to know that according to his plan in this life, Shuang planned to cultivate two Tao paths. One was the Tao of Void, and the other was the Mirage and Illusory Realm. The Mirage and Illusory Realm. If he wanted to obtain the apex absolute art scriptures, the most suitable place would be the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. In terms of absolute art scriptures, in the Southern Cloud Nation, all other clans added up could not even compare to a single star of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. The foundation of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was incredibly terrifying. Prince, there are many rules in the main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. It is impossible for you to bring a bunch of subordinates over. Today, only the two of us will be going over. Magic Servant Zibai said. Wait until you become an inner disciple. We'll arrange a residence for you in the main religion. By then, you can bring all your subordinates over. Let's go, Dongbua Shuang said. The two of them strolled in midair. Every single step they took traversed a huge distance. The entire capital was incomparably huge. Even after teleporting, it took Dongbua Shuang and Magic Servant Z by half an hour before they arrived at the main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. Dongbua Shuang looked into the distance. In the distance there were undulating mountain ranges. One could faintly see some pavilions and buildings amidst the mountain ranges. The entire huge mountain range was enveloped by arrays. This was where the main religion of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was located. Currently, a large number of cultivators were flying towards the main religion. The main religion could only be reached after walking several tens of thousands of kilometers along a path opened within the mountain. On the cliff by the side of the main religion, there were two words, Southern Cloud. Hua. Dongbua Shuang looked at those two words. At first glance, they seemed ordinary. At the very most, they were slightly domineering. But if one carefully sensed it, one could vaguely feel an endless void aura bursting out from those two words. It was a vast aura that was beyond the concept of the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. It was as if one was looking at the endless towering void, and one could only feel reverence. Yingshan Snow Eagle? By the entrance of the main religion, there was already a golden-robed male here. When he saw Dongbua Shuang, he immediately came over with a smile. Prince, this is Marquis Qingdang. Magic Servant Zibai introduced. Greetings, Marquis Qingdang. Dongbua Shuang immediately bowed. I've troubled Marquis Qingdang this time. It's just a minor matter. There are many hurdles inside, and Old Mother has already resolved them. Today, we are just going through a simple process. After that, you will be an inner disciple. Marquis Qingdang chuckled. Go, 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 follow me in. Asterisk, asterisk. Chapter 1037. The Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was one of the top 10 great religions in the entire realm Heart Great Land. It was extremely difficult to become an inner disciple, but the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was more biased towards the citizens of the Southern Cloud Nation. After all, it was common for many nations to fight in the dark across the entire Great Land. Hence, their own citizens were naturally more trustworthy. Yingshan Snow Eagle, a disciple of the Yingshan clan. He is a disciple of our Southern Cloud Nation's aristocratic clan. A total of 15 primal chaos experts gathered within a palace hall. At the center of them was a projection. That was the scene of a handsome white-robed young man entering the God Yuan Palace. He has a heaven-defying talent the moment he was born. Judging from the aura of his soul, he has never experienced time-accelerated cultivation before. He has cultivated for just 5 million years. Haha, he has already gotten through the 5th level of God Yuan Palace. Fellow Taoists, there are no objections to accepting him into the sect, right? No objections. He has passed. He is the little fellow from Old Mother Yingshan's clan. He has passed. The 15 primal chaos experts present chuckled as they spoke. The atmosphere was relaxed. Old Mother Yingshan had already gotten through all the barriers, and everyone present naturally agreed. It was only their own citizens who were more lenient in their assessment. If cultivators from other nations wanted to become an inner disciple, the assessment would be much harsher. Even if their talent was not any weaker than Dongbo Shuang, the requirement for their combat power would be higher. There would even be some entry missions to test the loyalty of the disciples. Because outer disciples did not care about loyalty, and they could join other religions. But the moment they were accepted into the sect, without the consent of the Southern Cloud King, they were absolutely forbidden from joining other religions. The moment they dared to do so, it would be a great crime of betraying the sect. They would be hunted down. Of course, there were many harsh requirements, but becoming an inner disciple would bring them many benefits. Dongbo Shuang walked out of the God Yuan Palace. In the primal chaos void, the opponents within the Star Pagoda are all destruction devils. But the trials within the God Yuan Palace have all sorts of opponents. Dongbo Shuang sighed inwardly. Even though there were more variations within the God Yuan Palace, the level of strength was the same as the Star Pagoda. Naturally, it had an additional 10th level. Yingshan Snow Eagle, congratulations, congratulations. Marquis Qingdang stood outside the God Yuan Palace waiting. He chuckled. I've already received news that you have passed the assessment. You are now an inner disciple of my Southern Cloud sacred religion. Oh, wait a moment. We will go and collect your disciple token, robes, and other things. You can also choose your own cave residence. Thank you, Marquis Qingming. Dongbo Shuang said. It's just a small matter. Let's go get the token. Marquis Qingdang was very enthusiastic. Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, Elder Hall. Yingshan Snow Eagle, from today onwards, you are the 3,392nd disciple of my Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. A silver-haired old man with a grand aura solemnly passed a robe over to Dongbo Shuang. There was even a token placed on the robe. In the future, you aren't just a disciple of the Yingshan clan. You are also a disciple of one of the 10 great religions in Realm Heart Great Land, the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. You should focus on cultivating and reach the primal chaos realm as soon as possible. It's a humiliation for a disciple of my Southern Cloud Sacred Religion to not reach the primal chaos realm. This disciple understands. Dongbo Shuang respectfully received it. He naturally understood. The conditions to join the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion were harsh. Citizens of the Southern Cloud Nation usually had to reach the Unity Realm's 7th level strength before they could become an inner disciple. Hence, it wasn't a lie to say that it's a humiliation for a disciple to not reach the primal chaos realm. More than 3,000 disciples were the total number of disciples the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion had ever since it was established. Over the long years, many had fallen. Currently, there should only be a few hundred disciples left alive. Nevertheless, it was these few hundred inner disciples that made the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion famous. Of these several hundred inner disciples, very few were citizens of the Southern Cloud Nation. The majority of them were from other nations. Even though the requirements for other nations to join the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion were harsh, there were too many of them. Ultimately, many geniuses chose to join. Clearly, the identity of one of the 10 great religions was extremely attractive. Dongbo Shuang might seem to have an easier time becoming an inner disciple. But in reality, his innate talent was ranked in the top 10 in the history of the Southern Cloud Nation. In terms of comprehension ability, he had reached the Unity Realm 5th level in just 5 million years. His innate talent and comprehension ability were extraordinary. Furthermore, he was one of them. That was why it was easy for him to join. Even though there were many cultivators coming and going from the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, almost all of them were outer disciples. But almost all of them were outer disciples. Many outer disciples came to the main sect to get better guidance. Inner disciple. Dongbo Shuang stood on a mountain peak. Behind him was a cavern dwelling. Magic servant Zibai, Tian Ji, the female attendant Yingyu, the 2 black stream cloud wolves, his personal guards, and others were all settled down. In the future, I'll be tied together with the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. Dongbo Shuang thought. South Dongbo Shuang arced through the sky. He flew towards the distance. The southern cloud sacred religion had strict rules. The outer disciples could only move around in the outer region. Even the servants of the inner disciples had a restricted area within the inner core region of the southern cloud sacred religion. Hence, this inner core region was clearly deserted. Book Collection Realm. Dongbo Shuang arced through the sky. He arrived at a mountain peak floating amidst the clouds. There was a cave several dozen meters tall on the mountain peak. The two words Book Collection Realm were carved on the cave. This was also the place where Dongbo Shuang collected absolute art scriptures after joining the Southern Cloud sacred religion. Entering the cave, the surrounding space began transforming. Amen. Dongbo Shuang looked around him. He had already entered a vast space. Within this space, there were many scriptures floating. Some of these scriptures were miscellaneous books. Naturally, most of them were absolute art scriptures. There were also many cultivation experiences left behind by seniors like the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles. There was a complete version of the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles amidst the countless scriptures. With a glance, Shuang could see more than 10 figures flipping through books or cultivating in this vast space. Those who could enter were at least inner disciples. Let's take a look at those legendary scriptures. Dongbo Shuang felt an itch in his heart. He rapidly flew to the center of this vast space. There was a sky-reaching stone pillar there. On the sky-reaching stone pillar, there were many rows of words. 3 Realms Technique requires 500,000 contribution points to exchange for it. Avatar Technique requires 300,000 contribution points to exchange for it. Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique requires 300,000 contribution points to exchange for it. 5 Phases Sealing Technique requires 200,000 contribution points to exchange for it. Star God Body requires 200,000 contribution points to exchange for it. Avatar Technique requires 100,000 contribution points to exchange for it. Voidification Undying Technique requires 100,000 contribution points to exchange for it. The rows of words caused Dongbo Shuang's eyes to brighten. There was the Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique and the Ordinary Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique. The Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique should be his ultra-long distance teleportation technique and required 50,000 contribution points to exchange for it. A legendary absolute art. Dongbo Shuang praised. He had already learned about these from the various books he read. Being one of the 10 great religions, the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion had collected many scriptures. Some existed before the First War of the Ancient Nations, and some were unique in the entire Realm Heart Great Land. Even the 6 great ancient nations came here to borrow these scriptures. Naturally, they had to pay a huge price. Naturally, the foundation of the 6 great ancient nations was much stronger than the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. They had some unique and powerful absolute art scriptures too. But he was an outsider, and he wanted to join some of the ultra-religions within the 6 great ancient nations? That was difficult. Most outsiders would be discriminated against. The Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was still his own nation, and it was also one of the 10 great religions in the Realm Heart Great Land. It's a pity that the scriptures listed on the sky-reaching pillars require contribution points to exchange for them. But it is still not bad. This is the price given to inner disciples. If it were an outsider, it would be impossible for him to learn them. Dongbo Shuang sighed. His gaze swept across the many scriptures in this vast space. As for the scriptures in this vast space, they were free to read. Today there was only one chapter. He was slightly stuck. Star. Chapter 1038. With these books, my chances of breaking through to the Cosmos God realm will be much higher. Dongbo Shuang looked at the many books floating in the vast space. His eyes brightened. The books listed by the sky pillar? He temporarily did not have to consider them, because he could only exchange for them with a huge contribution points. Currently, he could only accept missions at the Unity Realm from the Southern Sky Sacred Religion, and only after completing them would he be able to earn about 100 contribution points. Furthermore, these missions were extremely complex. Those that were slightly easier would have been snatched by other inner disciples. Almost all inner disciples were at the primal chaos realm, and they could send their incarnations over an ultra-long distance to complete the missions rapidly. If I want to earn contribution points, it's better to wait until I can display my strength at the 9th or 10th level. By then, it'll be much faster to earn contribution points. Dongbo Shuang thought. As for now, it's better for me to build up my foundation. Dongbo Shuang began flipping through many books. The number of books collected by the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was extremely exaggerated. There were very few that were listed on the Sky Pillar. Less than 100 of them. Everything else was free. Some were absolute art scriptures that led directly to the cosmos god level. Absorbing the crystallization of wisdom from others would broaden my path of cultivation. Dongbo Shuang did not mind learning from others because it could broaden his horizons. Just like how his talent in the Tao of Void was far inferior to the mirage and illusory realm. But after obtaining the inheritance from Void Primogenitor and Emperor Juyun, comprehending the scaled armor of General Mo Gu, who had the shadowless talent, and observing the Lost World Corridor for 1 trillion years, his attainments in the Tao of Void continued improving. He had even surpassed the Tao of Slaughter and Tao of Ripple, approaching the mirage and illusory realm. And in this life, he joined the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion that specialized in the Void. They even had the Avatar Technique, Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique, and Voidification Undying Technique. Perhaps in this life, his attainments in the Void would be higher than his attainments in the mirage and illusory realm. That was not impossible. One had the experience of many seniors, the other slowly fumbled about. Naturally, it was different. So many books. Dongbo Shuang spent 2 days to quickly scan through all the books. His achievements in the Void domain were already very high, but there weren't many that caught his eye. There were only 195 books that caught his eye. As for those seniors who guided him in the cultivation of the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, Shuang did not care about them at all, because not many of those seniors had reached the 10th level strength at the primal chaos realm. Dongbo Shuang naturally did not want to waste any more time. 195. Dongbo Shuang slightly nodded. Of these 195 books, more than 30 were written by Southern Cloud King. As for the others, they were either scriptures that led directly to the cosmos god realm, or some of the more eccentric ones. There are actually quite a few manuals in the mirage and illusory realm. Dongbo Shuang was in a good mood. There were few books related to the mirage and illusory realm that caught his attention. Primarily, there weren't many books related to the mirage and illusory realm in the entire Realm Heart Great Land. There were even fewer in the collection of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. There were only 18 books that caught the attention of Dongbo Shuang, and only 2 books that could be cultivated to the cosmos god level. Furthermore, there were none that could unleash the strength of the 10th level at the primal chaos realm. This was normal too. Unleashing the strength of the 10th level at the primal chaos realm represented that one could fight against cosmos gods head-on. This was an absolute technique that was not easily taught to outsiders. Even the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion could only learn it after becoming an inner disciple. Those who were not inner disciples would have to pay a huge price to learn it. Enough. It's sufficient. Dongbo Shuang was delighted because the 18 mirage and illusory realm scriptures had broadened his horizons. He was ultimately a great expert in the mirage and illusory realm, who could create a 9th level technique in the laws and profound mystery system. These scriptures represent different paths of cultivation, greatly increasing my chances of breaking through to the cosmos god realm. Joining a religion, he did not care about treasures. He did not care about having a backer either. What Dongbo Shuang cared about was the absolute art scriptures left behind by generations of experts in the long history of the Realm Heart Great Land. But as the saying went, Tao was not easily imparted. It was not easy for Southern Cloud King to collect so many scriptures with his status and strength. It was impossible for him to casually flip through these scriptures if he did not rely on the religion. Even if he wanted to rely on the religion, Southern Cloud King would not accept him if he did not have the talent and strength. After obtaining these scriptures, Dongbo Shueing first memorized them. Following that, he began cultivating in a low-profile manner within the Southern Cloud sacred religion. He would occasionally flip through some miscellaneous books to broaden his horizons. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, it had been 30,000 years since Dongbo Shueing entered the Southern Cloud sacred religion. Within a desert, a white-robed young man arced through the sky. He was killing his way towards the 9 armored soldiers. These armored soldiers had different weapons. Some wielded sabers, some wielded shields, and some wielded bows and arrows. Who? The white-robed young man's figure flashed. Many strange figures appeared at different locations. It was as if 8 to 9 figures had appeared at the same time. Their speed was fast and unpredictable. It was hard to discern the real from the fake. Pooh! Dongbo Shueing pointed his finger at the back of a soldier. Pung! The back of that soldier directly exploded, forming a huge bloody hole. Fresh blood splattered everywhere. That soldier retaliated with an axe at lightning speed. Nevertheless, Dongbo Shueing had already disappeared. More than 10 ghostly figures charged towards that shield-wielding soldier from different directions. Relying on his horrifying body technique, he could easily trample on these soldiers. After the time taken to brew a cup of tea, these 9 armored soldiers were completely exhausted. They disappeared on the spot. I passed. Dongbo Shueing revealed a grin. In the distance, a pagoda-shaped staircase could be seen. Following the staircase, one could enter the higher God Yuan Palace 7th level. This 7th level was naturally lost by Dongbo Shueing. What? This snow eagle has just entered the sacred religion not too long ago. Yet he has passed through the God Yuan Palace 6th level? So fast. Many elders from the Southern Cloud sacred religion were startled when they received the news. It was normal for cultivators to break through rapidly after entering the Southern Cloud sacred religion. But if one considered Dongbo Shueing's age, it would be exaggerated. It was just 5 million years. Did he enter the time-space realm to cultivate? During these 30,000 years, he might have cultivated with a time acceleration of 100 to 1,000 times. He didn't. He did not accelerate time. Judging from the aura of his soul, he should have lived for slightly more than 5 million years. I've asked the array spirit before. Other than cultivating in his cavern dwelling, Snow Eagle has practically been flipping through books in the book repository realm. He did not cultivate with a time acceleration. Flipping through books? Oh, that's right too. There are many books in the book repository realm, and many seniors' experiences in cultivating the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. This brat Snow Eagle should not have a teacher in the past, and had always been immersed in cultivation in that small place like the Ardent Fire City. Now that he has obtained the guidance of so many seniors, he became enlightened and directly comprehended the God Yuan Palace 6th level strength. It is normal. Amen, that should be the case. Many elders were discussing, even though they understood that it was normal for an absolute genius who did not receive any guidance in the past to break through after receiving the guidance of so many seniors. Ultimately, he had only cultivated for 5 million years. That was still frightening. Southern Cloud Capital. Within a luxurious residence, there was a bamboo house surrounded by flowing water. A beautiful violet-robed girl sat cross-legged. Her robe was very long, and it practically occupied half the floor of the bamboo house. She was currently holding onto a needle and embroidering a diagram. Master. A male respectfully reported from outside the bamboo curtain of the bamboo house. There's news from the Southern Cloud sacred religion. What's the matter? This girl indifferently replied. Her voice was ethereal and permeated into the soul of others. The male outside could not help but feel his heart tightening. He was clear how frightening his master was. He respectfully reported. The newest inner disciple of the Southern Cloud sacred religion, Ying Snow Eagle, has crossed through the God Yuan Palace 6th level today. He has cultivated for a total of 5 million years or so. Oh, send me an invitation to invite him over for a banquet. The girl's voice was filled with a strand of laughter. Times. Chapter 1039. Master, he is called Ying Snow Eagle. He is a disciple from the Southern Cloud Nation's Yingshan clan. The male kneeling outside reminded. Old Mother Shan has some enmity with my Qiani clan. Oomph. My Qiani clan has never placed that Old Mother Shan in our eyes. It is only Old Mother Shan who has been bearing a grudge. The violet-robed girl sneered softly. There is no need to bicker with that old woman. Just send my invitation card and invite that Shan Snow Eagle over. As for whether he will come or not, that's his business. Yes. The male respectfully acknowledged. Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. Dongbua Shueying was currently seated cross-legged in front of his cavern dwelling by the cliff of the mountain peak. He was breathing in the cold aura of the world, while concentrating on deducing his cultivation technique. No other choice. He did not dare to display moves that were too profound within the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. One had to know that he had mastered the first 10 styles of the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, leaving only the final 2 styles. If he wanted to comprehend them, Dongbua Shueying was 99% certain that he would be detected by the array spirit constructed by the Southern Cloud King. No matter if it was the Southern Cloud Capital or the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, they were too important to the king. They were the territory he had been managing for a long time. The defenses here would definitely be tight, without leaving any loopholes. Even the cultivation rooms of the disciples would be monitored by the array spirit. The moment a loophole was left behind, it would be exploited by the enemy in the future, becoming a weak point for the entire Southern Cloud Capital. An absolute hero like the Southern Cloud King would definitely not leave behind such loopholes. One had to know that the Great Void Heaven Temple would be monitored everywhere. Under normal circumstances, the Southern Cloud King would not care about the disciples cultivating in their cultivation rooms. Unless an abnormal situation occurred. A young fellow who was 5 million years old actually started practicing the 9th level technique of the God Yuan Palace? That was too bizarre. It would definitely be reported to the king by the array spirit. With the status of the Southern Cloud King, he should know about the reincarnation of an expert from another origin world, right? Dongbua Shueying thought. I wonder what is the king's attitude towards this? Was it goodwill? Or malicious? Was the number 1 expert in the primal chaos void, sacred master, related to the realm Heart Great Land? Dongbua Shueying was not at that level yet. He knew too little, so he did not dare to take the risk. He didn't dare to put his fate in the hands of others. The best way was to disguise himself as an ordinary peerless genius. The degree of improvement in his strength was based on the category of absolute geniuses across the entire realm Heart Great Land. Although he couldn't be considered the most monstrous genius in the 6 great ancient nations, he was qualified to be considered the most monstrous genius in the Southern Cloud Nation. I have learned many precious scriptures from the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. Actually, it is time for me to return to the Ardent Fire City. Dongbua Shueying thought. The small Ardent Fire City was much safer. All sorts of security measures were far from being as strict as the Southern Cloud Capital. Furthermore, with his current realm, it was impossible for Marquis Ardent Fire to discover his secret. Only in the Ardent Fire City would it be suitable for him to cultivate to his heart's content and display his powerful techniques. Who? A figure flew over from afar. He's here. Dongbua Shueying was slightly delighted. He was in no hurry to leave after obtaining the ancient book. He had been waiting for this day. Junior disciple brother Snow Eagle. A black-robed male chuckled. I am called Tian Chun Shui. I joined the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion earlier than you. Senior disciple brother Tian. Dongbua Shueying said. I am here to invite junior disciple brother Snow Eagle over for a banquet under the orders of my clan master. The black-robed male waved his hand, causing a dull violet invitation card to fly over. Dongbua Shueying received it. The moment he saw the 2 words Qiani, he frowned slightly. Following that, his expression became much colder. He flipped through the invitation and read the content. He then waved his hand and threw this invitation card back. Bring it back. The black-robed male frowned. Why? Are you not giving face to my clan master? Have you forgotten how your Qiani clan plotted against my clan's old ancestor? Dongbua Shueying sneered. All right. The black-robed male snorted. He turned around and left rapidly. Dongbua Shueying watched silently. He stayed in the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion until now. because he was waiting for someone. But that person was not from the Qiani clan. Within the Southern Cloud capital, there were 3 superpowers that loved befriending experts. One was the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince was a child the Southern Cloud King had when he was weak. Even though his talent was slightly weaker, the Southern Cloud King doted on him. This resulted in the domineering personality of the Crown Prince. He was exceptionally prideful and loved befriending experts from all over. But the Crown Prince had high standards. Those he invited would usually be at the Primal Chaos realm. Furthermore, they were all extremely powerful experts at the Primal Chaos realm, or those with a huge background. Those who were slightly weaker would not enter his eyes. Dongbua Shuiying came from the Ying Shan clan and was merely at the Unity realm. Hence, he would not enter the eyes of that domineering Crown Prince. The other 2 superpowers that loved befriending experts were from the 6 great ancient nations. One was the Moonflower Ancient Nation's Qiani clan. The Moonflower Ancient Nation was ranked at the bottom of the 6 great ancient nations, and was comparable to the Towering Sky Ancient Nation. Unlike the Towering Sky Ancient Nation, which had always remained low profile, the Moonflower Ancient Nation was much more active. Experts from the Moonflower Ancient Nation could be seen practically everywhere in the Realm Heart Great Land. They had infiltrated everywhere, searching for ancient historical remains left behind by ancient experts, searching for treasures, absolute art scriptures, and many others. The Qiani clan was a huge clan with a total of 8 cosmos gods. Qiani Xiao was the manager of the Qiani clan in the Southern Cloud Nation. She was a great expert at the 9th level Primal Chaos realm. She befriended many people, and unknowingly increased the influence of the Moonflower Ancient Nation in the Southern Cloud Nation. It's a pity, because the Qiani clan plotted against Old Mother Ying Shan during an exploration of ancient historical remains for the sake of treasures. Old Mother Ying Shan had a violent temper, and both parties fought fiercely. Nevertheless, the Moonflower Ancient Nation was ultimately one of the 6 great ancient nations, and was far stronger than the Southern Cloud Nation. Just the Qiani clan alone had a total of 8 cosmos gods. In the end, Southern Cloud King interfered, and Old Mother Ying Shan could only endure this vile feeling. She is here. Dongbua Shuiying saw the figure of a girl flying over from afar. That was a girl wearing a light blue robe. After flying over, she chuckled. Junior disciple brother Snow Eagle, I am called Fanfiki. I am your senior disciple sister. Under the orders of my elder brother, I am inviting you to a banquet. Saying that, a black gold invitation flew over. Dongbua Shuiying received the invitation. There was a single word Fan on the invitation. Fan Clan. That was the person he wanted to meet the most. The Southern Cloud Nation capital was a place where only 3 superpowers could be found. His Highness the Crown Prince, Qiani Xiao, from the Qiani clan of the Moonflower Ancient Nation, and Fan Tianchong, from the Fan clan of the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. The Crown Prince was slightly more domineering. It was mainly because of his reputation that he did things without restraint. Qiani Xiao and Fan Tianchong were the ones who truly befriended all experts with potential. Dongbua Shuiying had broken through to the God Yuan Palace 6th level in just 5 million years. Clearly, he was fancied by them, and they believed that he would become an influential figure in the Southern Cloud Nation in the future. Fan Tianchong. Dongbua Shuiying muttered to himself. Fan Tianchong was the person in charge of the Fan clan in the Southern Cloud Nation. As long as he befriended him, he would definitely give him some face, and let him take a look at the spearhead. It was just a look. He believed that Fan Tianchong wouldn't reject it. I have stayed in the Southern Cloud sacred religion for so long, just to take a closer look at the spearhead, and see the profoundness within it. Dongbua Shuiying thought to himself. Although he had only seen it once, he was able to remember quite a bit. According to the profoundness of the complete spear of Scarlet Cloud High Lord, he should be able to comprehend more. Although Dongbua Shuiying had only comprehended a portion of it, he believed that the absolute art contained within the spear would not be inferior to the complete Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. Of course, the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles was easier to learn. After all, there was the complete absolute art. The profoundness within the spear was 10 times or 100 times harder to learn. He had to comprehend it himself. However, with his foundation, he was confident that he could comprehend it. More importantly, with the help of a secret treasure like the spear, the power would be even greater. All right, I will definitely attend the banquet tonight. Dongbo Shuang smiled. Junior brother Snow Eagle, I will come and pick you up tonight. The light blue-robed girl Fan Fiki smiled. She had a good impression of the young man in front of her. Times. Chapter 1040. Night descended. On the carriage, Fan Fiki and Dongbo Shuang sat side by side. There were protectors and servants standing by the side. Dongbo Shuang brought magic servancy by along with him. Junior disciple brother Snow Eagle, we have arrived. Fan Fiki pointed to the distance. It is indeed the Fan clan. Dongbo Shuang looked afar. The distant residence was vast. The residence in the southern cloud capital is even bigger than the Ardent Fire Marquisdom. The Fan clan was one of the 3 great clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. The other 2 great clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation were more aloof and arrogant. They disdained setting up branches in other nations. Only the Fan clan could spread their network across every single location in the realm Heart Great Land. In reality, the superpower clans ranked in the top 10 in the realm Heart Great Land. They were all prideful. This was normal too. After all, they were too powerful, causing them to disdain befriending some smaller nations. In their opinion, it was better for them to meditate and cultivate if they had the time and energy to become stronger. There were very few superpower clans that were willing to do so. A clan could suppress the towering Sky Ancient Nation. If they were willing, they could easily destroy the entire Southern Cloud Nation. Only the king could escape alive. Dongbo Shuang muttered inwardly. The Fan clan, they were too powerful. Shuang had read too many miscellaneous books in the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion Book Repository realm. Hence, his understanding of the Fan clan deepened. Fan clan. It represented tyranny, cruelty, ruthlessness, and slaughter. It was the only clan amongst the 3 great clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation that loved to expand their territory. Even an absolute hero like the Southern Cloud King had to welcome them with a smile. He did not dare to offend the Fan clan. Many talented cultivators chose to rely on the Fan clan, becoming honored guests of the Fan clan. They were loyal to the Fan clan and fought for the Fan clan. Within a towering and luxurious palace hall, several cultivators were already here. They were seated and chatting merrily. A tall and plump male sat on the throne. Big brother Tianchong. Fan Fiki stepped into the hall and shouted, "My junior brother Snow Eagle is here." Fan Tianchong sat there looking at Dongbo Shuang with a smile. He announced, "Prince Snow Eagle, I've long heard that an absolute genius has appeared in the Southern Cloud Nation. If you don't mind, you can just call me Big Brother Tianchong. Come, hurry up and take a seat. In a while the Flying Lip Beast feast will begin. This Flying Lip Beast meat has to be eaten while it is being cooked. The moment there is any delay, the taste will become worse." "Thank you, Big Brother Tianchong." Dongbo Shuang bowed humbly. Since the other party was being polite, Dongbo Shuang did not dare to slight him. He knew very well Fan Tianchong, the manager of the Fan clan branch in the Southern Cloud Nation. Being the highest leader of the Fan clan in the Southern Cloud Nation, he had a 10th level strength and could fight against cosmos gods. More importantly, he could mobilize a huge amount of power belonging to the Fan clan. If one said that the Southern Cloud King was unquestionably the strongest power in the Southern Cloud Nation, then the Fan clan would be ranked second. Fan Tianchong was faintly the second most authoritative character in the Southern Cloud Nation. Fan Tianchong cultivates the Tearing Sky Strength Devil scripture that the Fan clan does not impart to outsiders. He is incredibly strong, and his body is comparable to secret treasure weapons. Dongbo Shuang sighed inwardly. According to the intelligence he understood, the fleshy body of Fan Tianchong was even stronger than the 10th level grand perfection of the Southern Cloud Sacred Body. It's a pity that the Fan clan did not impart the Tearing Sky Strength Devil scripture to outsiders. He is incredibly strong, and according to rumors, he is the beloved disciple of the Fan clan's skyrending great paragon. That was why he was sent to manage the more important southern cloud nation. Dong Buishuang thought. Haha. The palace hall was filled with laughter. Those who participated in the banquet were chatting. That is also because that old monster Bai from the Snowhook Nation is foolish. He relied on the fact that he is a cosmos god, and looked down on a primal chaos expert like me. He actually fought with me head-on, which was why I could smash him to heavily injure him. Fan Tianchong chuckled. It's a pity that he ran fast. Otherwise, I'd smash him to death. He is foolish. Isn't he just seeking his own humiliation for daring to fight with Big Brother Tianchong? So what if he is a cosmos god? Isn't he still forced to escape in a sorry state by Big Brother Tianchong? Those madmen from the Snowhook Nation are also seeking death. They always come and spoil our plans. Several cultivators present were flattering Fan Tianchong. Fan Tianchong sneered. Snowhook Nation? Of the Black Devil Four Nations, the Snowhook Nation overestimates its strength the most. It has been going against my Summer Wind Ancient Nation, and my Fan Clan time and time again. Who knows if I might teach them a lesson in the future. Woo! Fan Tianchong suddenly revealed a grin. An enormous cauldron was brought up. Within the cauldron, there was a mutated beast that was about to be cooked. There was a chef currently cutting the meat and serving it with some other condiments and wine. Hurry up and have a taste. Prince Snow Eagle, this is your first time coming to my place. This flying lip beast is my favorite food, but it's a pity that it is too hard to catch. Fan Tianchong chuckled. Most of the flying lip beasts discovered by the Black Devil Four Nations should have landed in my place. But it's a rare opportunity for me to have such a good meal. Saying that, Fan Tianchong waved his hand. The first plate of flying lip beast meat that was cut flew over to Dong Buishuang. Even though there were quite a few guests today, this banquet was indeed prepared for Dong Buishuang, because this was the first time Dong Buishuang came here. Even though Fan Tianchong's status was high, he still befriended everyone with potential. In his opinion, with Dong Buishuang's potential, it should not be a problem for him to reach the 9th level in the future. As for the 10th level, that was hard to say. In terms of cultivation difficulty, it was comparable to creating a 9th level technique in the primal chaos void. More importantly, it had to be complemented with some secret techniques and specialized secret treasures. Only then could one unleash the strength of the 10th level. Many thanks, Big Brother Tianchong. Dong Buishuang received the plate. The banquet continued. There were musicians playing by the side. The group of people were chatting with each other. Fan Tianchong would occasionally speak with Dong Buishuang. Prince Snow Eagle, I've heard that you have gotten through the God Yuan Palace 6th level strength. I am also at the God Yuan Palace 6th level strength. Why don't we have a spar? A young protector standing by the side of a guest shouted. Impudent. Is this a place where you can speak so loudly? Another guest who was sitting there tasting the flying lip beast meat shouted back with a sunken expression. Fan Tianchong laughed out loud. Brother Pangbo, today is a happy day. It is good for us to have a spar. It is just that I wonder if Prince Snow Eagle is interested in this. Dong Buishuang sat there listening and understood. This challenge was most likely arranged by Fan Tianchong. Fan Tianchong probably wanted to use this opportunity to see his actual strength. Since he dares to challenge me here, it seems like he has something to rely on. However, this will make it more interesting. Dong Buishuang stood up and said with a smile. Magic servant Zibai, who was by the side, transmitted his voice. Prince, I see that he should be proficient in saber arts. Saber arts should be brutal and ruthless. Prince, you must be careful. Dong Buishuang smiled. His judgment was much higher than magic servant Zibai's. With a step, he arrived at the center of the hall. Great! Fan Tianchong and the others cheered as they watched from the side. Prince Snow Eagle, you must be careful. That young protector was also filled with battle intent. He walked to the center of the hall and faced Dong Buishuang from afar. Make your move, Dong Buishuang said. You aren't going to use your weapon? The young protector asked. Not for now. If you can force me to use my weapon, I will naturally use it, Dong Buishuang said. All right. The eyes of the young protector shrunk. He was actually an honorary disciple under the Fan clan's honored guest, Uncle Pang. Because his strength was suitable, Uncle Pang chose him to challenge this snow eagle. This was a rare opportunity for him to display his strength in front of the higher echelons of the Fan clan's Southern Cloud branch. "Receive my move," the young protector shouted. Xiao. With a flash, he turned into a blood-colored afterimage that shot towards Dongbo Shuiying. Within that blood-colored afterimage, a blood-colored saber light could be vaguely seen. "Brother Uncle Pang, this brat has trained your blood shadow saber quite well. It has some flavor." The guests present were chatting and praising. Peng. Dongbo Shuiying, who was standing at his original position, stretched out his finger and tapped out lightly. The saber light instantly froze. Dongbo Shuiying's finger just so happened to tap on the sharpest point of the saber light. It was also the strongest point, and also the point where all of its power was concentrated. Hong, a booming sound rang out. The saber light trembled from the impact, and that young protector involuntarily staggered backwards from the impact. How is this possible? How is it possible for him to tap on the strongest point under my shadow saber technique? The young protector felt astonished in his heart. Impossible. It must be a coincidence. The shadow saber was originally known for its unpredictability. Being at the God Yuan Palace 6th level, he absolutely did not believe that an opponent of equal strength could easily see through his saber technique. Who? The young protector turned into an afterimage once again. This time, his figure moved in an even more bizarre manner. The saber light whistled out continuously like a tidal wave. Countless saber shadows shot out continuously and were ever-changing. Dongbo Shuiying remained at his original position. When the saber light enveloped him, he still tapped out with his finger. Chapter 1041. The tip of his finger once again clashed against the sharpest point of the blade. Everything seemed to freeze. Dongbo Shuiying's finger had caused the void to explode. The power caused that young protector to fly backwards uncontrollably. For the Southern Cloud sacred religion to rely on the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, to spread its name across the realm Heart Great Land, and become one of the top 10 great religions, this absolute art was naturally powerful. How could this be? This move of his is simple and direct. How could it break my shadow blade? The young protector was unwilling to believe that he would charge forward again and again. However, Shuiying would only point out with a single finger every single time. No matter how he attacked, he would be bombarded back every time. Shuiying had done this 9 times in a row. This Snow Eagle Prince is indeed formidable. He has reached the God Yuan Palace 6th level in terms of realm, and he isn't relying on the Southern Cloud sacred body to barely execute it. Yes, it seems his control over the void is quite amazing. He has broken the shadow blade technique time after time. He is more formidable than expected. They were chatting through voice transmissions. This banquet was held for Dongbo Shuiying. It was also to determine the potential of this Snow Eagle Prince. There were 2 ways to execute the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. One depended on the realm. Even without cultivating the sacred body, the cultivator could still unleash a powerful technique. The other was to rely on the sacred body to execute the technique when the realm was slightly weaker. For instance, a Unity Realm 8th level technique. In theory, a Unity Realm expert could at most reach the 7th level strength. That was the case in the Primal Chaos Void. But if one relied on the Southern Cloud sacred body that reached the 8th level, it would be much easier to execute an 8th level technique, as long as one comprehended a small part of it. The same logic. To unleash a 10th level strength at the Primal Chaos realm, one had to rely on the 10th level Grand Perfection Southern Cloud sacred body. It was impossible to execute it by relying on one's realm, because a technique with a 10th level strength contained the profound mysteries of the Cosmos God level. But the Southern Cloud sacred body was at the 10th level Grand Perfection. Hence, it was much easier to execute the technique. The Southern Cloud sacred body and the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles complemented each other. Changing another body cultivation technique would be useless against the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. Just these techniques? Why don't you receive a few moves from me too? Shuang let out a hearty laugh before finally killing his way out. He purposely used his fingers to break the seal 9 times in a row, just to let Fan Tianchong and the others see. The real purpose of him attending this banquet was to take a good look at the spearhead. Phew, Dongbua Shuang dashed out. But strangely, he split into 9 figures, all of them lunging at the young guard from different directions. What? The young guard panicked. He could sense that the 9 figures were real. In fact, the 9 figures were all real. It was just that Dongbua Shuiying's speed was extremely fast, and in an instant his body had sliced through space 9 times, thus creating the effect of 9 figures. Using his body as a weapon to cut through the enemy, he had transformed the offensive techniques of the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles into a body technique. Phew! Dongbua Shuiying brushed past the young guard. With a wave of his hand, 9 shadows flashed past. In an instant, the young guard's body was slashed 9 times. However, the wounds quickly healed. Dongbua Shuiying had already returned to his original position, looking at that young guard. The young guard's expression alternated between white and red. The Fan clan was originally a tyrannical and ruthless clan. His teacher Pang Bo had joined the Fan clan and taught his disciples based on the law of the jungle. The weak would die, and the strong would live. It was a constant selection process. It was rare for him to have a chance to help his teacher gain face, yet he had lost so badly. Why aren't you retreating? Pang Bo roared from his seat. Yes. The young guard immediately retreated. Prince Snow Eagle's comprehension ability is truly extraordinary. Pang Bo praised. Not only could he perfectly execute the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, he could even transform his offensive techniques into body techniques. This has already surpassed the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. Genius, genius. Pang Bo admired Dongbua Shuiying. He had many disciples, and even some personal disciples. But none of them had a comprehension ability comparable to this Snow Eagle Prince in front of him. What a pity, this Snow Eagle Prince was too dazzling. He, Pang Bo, was just an honored guest, and was not qualified to accept such a genius as his disciple. An offensive technique can be transformed into a body technique. Amazing. Fan Tianchong praised. Beautiful. Seeing Prince Snow Eagle, it reminds me of the days when I cultivated for 5 million years. I remember that time. I was still an ordinary disciple within a small religion, within the Summer Wind ancient nation. These guests were also praising. They all understood. For Shuiying to reach this realm after cultivating for 5 million years, and not be restricted by his original techniques. He could even absorb the essence of the techniques, and transform them into new ones. This talent left them dumbstruck. As long as he did not die, it was almost certain that he would reach the 9th level in the future. One had to know that these honored guests were only at the 9th level. As for those at the 10th level, Fan Tianchong would not casually summon them. It was just an ordinary banquet to entertain Dongbua Shuiying. The banquet finally ended. The guests began leaving one by one. Fan Tianchong and Fan Feiqi personally sent off Dongbua Shuiying. Prince Snow Eagle, if you have any trouble in the future, you can come and find me. It doesn't matter if it is in the Southern Cloud Nation or other nations. There aren't many things my Fan clan can't solve. Fan Tianchong chuckled. Big brother Tianchong. Dongbua Shuiying immediately said. Speaking of which, I do have a matter that I need Big brother Tianchong's help with. Fan Feiqi was startled by the side. Fan Tianchong was slightly startled too. He had just said if you have any trouble, you can come and find me. Yet this Snow Eagle Prince immediately asked for his help. That was truly thick-skinned. One had to know that even if he asked the Fan clan for help, he would have to pay a price. Say it. Fan Tianchong maintained his smile. Even though he felt unhappy in his heart, it was because this Snow Eagle Prince was too young. I am ashamed to say it. Dongbua Shuiying said. I've seen a spearhead in a shop owned by the Fan clan in the Southern Cloud capital. I've heard that it is the spearhead of a weapon left behind by Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master. That spearhead seems to be a void-related secret treasure, and I was curious about it. At that time, I wanted to personally take a closer look at it. It's a pity that the manager did not allow me to see it. That is why I shamelessly asked Big Brother Tian Chong to help me take a closer look at that spearhead. Just this matter? Fan Tian Chong laughed involuntarily. He thought that the other party would ask for something excessive. Just to take a look at the secret treasures sold in the shop? He knew of that spearhead. Even though it was formidable, it was merely an incomplete weapon. Its price wasn't high, and the clan's base price was only 300 million cosmos crystals. Haha, there is no need to tell me such a minor matter. Fan Tian Chong felt that this snow eagle prince in front of him was slightly cute. He even shamelessly asked for such a minor matter. You are currently a good friend of mine, Fan Tian Chong. You are an esteemed guest in all the shops of my fan clan. Even the Cloud Sky Hammer, that is 10 times more expensive, is a minor matter for you. Fan Tian Chong said. You just have to go over. That manager will absolutely not dare to obstruct you. Dongbo Shuang felt relieved in his heart when he heard that. He was not interested in the shop protection treasure, the Cloud Sky Hammer. That spearhead was what he wanted the most. He could not afford it, and would not be so foolish to ask the other party to gift it to him. Even though Fan Tian Chong regarded him highly, treasures worth a few 100 million cosmos crystals would only be given to him if he sold himself to the Fan clan. Even if he could not afford it now, it was sufficient for him to comprehend the spearhead. Many thanks, Big Brother Tian Chong. Then I shall head over now. Dongbo Shuang was slightly impatient. You ha ha ha, go on go on. Fan Tian Chong laughed. This snow eagle prince was truly interesting. Chapter 1042. Just half an hour later, Dongbo Shuang had already brought magic servant Zibai and arrived at the Fan clan's shop. Even though it was late at night, the entire treasured goods market was still radiating with resplendent radiance. Young Master Snow Eagle. My master has already ordered me to wait for young Master Snow Eagle here. That plump old man was standing at the entrance of the Fan clan's shop, welcoming them with a smile. If it was a cultivator of the same strength, they would definitely care about their face, and wouldn't stand at the entrance to welcome a Unity Realm genius so passionately. But this plump old man was a magic servant, and would completely follow his master's orders. I'll have to trouble you, manager, Dongbo Shuang said. Young Master Snow Eagle, please. The plump old man passionately led the way. The group soon arrived at the 3rd floor. After all, it was late at night. There weren't many customers here, and the 3rd floor was even emptier. Dongbo Shuang didn't waste any time this time. He immediately arrived in front of the spearhead. This spearhead was floating in midair. The spearhead was emitting distorted spatial ripples. Layers of array seals were wrapping around this spearhead like an eggshell. Please wait a moment, the plump old man said, and began controlling the array seals. The array seals expanded layer by layer, wrapping around Dongbo Shuang, who was standing nearby. In a few breaths of time, the eggshell-like array seals expanded by a few dozen feet. Dongbo Shuang was also within it. Young Master Snow Eagle, it's done. The plump old man smiled. Thanks, Dongbo Shuang said before looking at the floating spearhead in front of him. The original owner of this spearhead, Scarlet Cloud Paragon Lord, had already fallen before the first war of the ancient nations. In other words, this spear had existed for a much longer time than the 6 great ancient nations. It was just that it had experienced some unknown story that caused the spearhead and spear shaft to separate. The spearhead was constantly distorting the surrounding space. Visible spatial ripples could be seen with the naked eye. With a stretch of his hand, Dongbo Shuang grabbed the spearhead in front of him. The tip of the spear was ice cold and seemed to be endlessly sharp, as if it was about to tear his hand apart. But Dongbo Shuang had ultimately cultivated the Southern Cloud sacred body to the 6th level. How could a damaged secret treasure injure him? Not to mention that his manipulation of the void was already very powerful. Buzz! Dongbo Shuang closed his eyes and sent his consciousness into it. Boom! His consciousness buzzed, and he could clearly sense the complex and unfathomable whirlpool of stairs rapidly converging towards the core. Back then, when Dongbo Shuang was only trying to comprehend the spear shaft, it was still a little confusing. But now that he was comprehending the spearhead, he discovered that this complicated spiral staircase could ultimately be divided into 3 steps. The 3 steps revolved and converged at a single point. That point was the end of the whirlpool stairs. But it also seemed to be another kind of beginning. Dongbo Shuiying could feel that the whirlpool had converged into a single point, and when it reached its limit, it would explode. The spearhead and speartip, even though there was no master controlling them, and the mysterious runes were not activated, they still caused the void to distort and ripple. Clearly, this final point contained a terrifying destructive force against the void. If I were to fuse it with the mysterious runes on the spear shaft, Dongbo Shuiying rapidly deduced in his mind. He completely fused the mysterious runes he discovered on the spear shaft with what he was currently comprehending. That was the complete inscription of the secret treasure. With me as the core, I will be the spatial origin. Everything else will be controlled by me. With a stab of the spear, the power would converge. I dare not imagine how powerful it would be. The more Dongbo Shuiying deduced, the more he felt it was vast and unfathomable. Given his realm, he could deduce that this spear contained 2 great techniques. One was to use the body as the spatial origin, relying on it to control the surrounding space. This was a domain technique. The other technique was to converge the chaotic space. By converging it to the origin, it would possess the power to destroy everything. That power was something Dongbo Shuiying did not dare to imagine. Even though he had obtained the complete version of the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles, which contained 2 10th-level secret importation techniques, but the 2 secret importation techniques, in terms of concept, they were not as tyrannical and powerful as the one in the spear. Even though he did not understand them, his realm was sufficiently high. He could still judge the pressure and threat from the 2 techniques. Formidable. The mysterious runes on the spear are absolutely not at the 10th level. They are much higher. Dongbo Shuiying understood this point. Great Paragon Lu Tian from the Fan clan had admitted that Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master was not any weaker than him. One could see from this. Great Paragon Lu Tian. Dongbo Shuiying was clear that he was ranked in the top few across the mini-cosmos gods in the Fan clan. Memorize it. I will try my best to memorize it. Dongbo Shuiying began forcefully memorizing it. Nonetheless, the mysterious runes on the spearhead were too complex and mystical. Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master relied on this weapon to move unhindered across the realm Heart Great Land. How could it be memorized by a brat like Dongbo Shuiying who had yet to reach the 9th level? He could barely memorize part of it. Only by doing his best to comprehend it would he be able to memorize it. The plump old man stood by the side. He was waiting patiently. It's just that time passed gradually. There were even other customers who came to the 3rd floor. And the plump old man even went out of his way to receive them. It has been 4 hours, and he is still looking at it? The plump old man felt bewildered. He looked at the white-robed young man who was grabbing the spearhead. Why does this Snow Eagle Prince like this incomplete secret treasure so much? Even if he looks at it for a long time, what can he see? Comprehending the secret treasure, and comprehending an absolute art? The plump old man did not care about it. Because comprehending a secret treasure and researching an absolute art was 10 to 100 times more difficult than cultivating from an absolute art scripture. Furthermore, one had to spend a long time comprehending the secret treasure. That was measured in hundreds of millions of years. So what if one looked at it for a day in the shop? It was impossible to memorize powerful mysterious runes. Only by comprehending them would one be able to memorize them. Who? Dongbo Shuiying opened his eyes. There was a strand of regret in his eyes. He looked at the spearhead with reluctance. Many thanks, manager. Dongbo Shuiying let go of the spearhead, allowing it to continue floating there. Haha, it's a small matter. The plump old man immediately controlled the layers of arrays, causing them to shrink in size. In a few breaths of time, all the arrays had shrunk to the point where they could wrap around the spearhead. Dongbo Shuiying glanced at the spearhead. Domain techniques could be comprehended by relying on the spear body. This time, he had seen the complete mysterious inscriptions. It should not be difficult for him to create an 8th-level domain. By relying on the spear body, he might be able to reach the 9th-level power. But attacking? Dongbo Shuang understood that the attack of this spear was different from the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. Furthermore, its power was terrifying. It's a pity that he only had the spear body. It was impossible for him to memorize too much of the spearhead in a short period. It would be good if he could comprehend a 6th or 7th level technique. No matter what, I have truly seen the complete mysterious inscriptions of the spear. Next, I should have a clearer direction for my comprehension. Dongbo Shuang thought. Like domains, he had faintly formed a concept of himself as the origin. If he did not look at the spearhead, and instead comprehended the spear body, it was unknown how long it would take him to grasp that concept. Zibai, let's go. Dongbo Shuang said. Yes, Prince. Magic servant Zibai glanced at the spear too. He muttered inwardly. Why did his prince like this incomplete secret treasure spearhead so much? Early the next morning, Dongbo Shuang brought along magic servant Zibai, Tian Ji, the female attendant Ying, and the others. They left the Southern Cloud sacred religion and set off for the Ardent Fire City. He had obtained all the absolute art scriptures including the Void, Mirage and Illusory Realm, and many others. He had also comprehended the spearhead. Since he could not unleash his full strength in the Southern Cloud sacred religion, it was naturally better for him to return to the Ardent Fire City as soon as possible. The next time I come to the capital will be the day I buy that spearhead. Dongbo Shuang thought. Whether it was for a powerful secret treasure weapon suitable for himself, or for comprehending the absolute art of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master, he had to get that spearhead. Chapter 1043. Ardent Fire City. The Ardent Fire Marquisdom was bustling with activity today. They had already received the news that Prince Snow Eagle would be returning today. Prince Snow Eagle has already come out from the teleportation array. He will be arriving at the Marquisdom soon. The news spread quickly. By the entrance of the Marquisdom, all the elders of the Marquisdom had already arrived, including Yingshan Laihu and Rong Xinglan. Even Marquis Ardent Fire had personally appeared by the entrance of the Marquisdom. As for the other disciples within the Marquisdom, they had also rushed over to welcome him. Amongst them included the son of Chan Yu Yanzhen, Yingshan Zhongfu. Laihu, this son of yours isn't ordinary. I've heard that he has just crossed through the God Yuan Palace 6th level. How long has it been since he entered the Southern Cloud sacred religion? This comprehension ability and talent, amazing, truly amazing. He might even become a conferred king in the future. By then, our Yingshan clan would have 2 conferred kings. The elders who were arrogant in the past were now enthusiastically chatting with Yingshan Laihu. Yingshan Laihu chuckled. He grinned. Happy. Delightful. This feeling of being respected filled Yingshan Laihu with joy and satisfaction. He is here. The surroundings suddenly turned silent. Nobody dared to speak recklessly. They saw a handsome white-robed young man and a black-robed male waving a folding fan flying over. Behind them were Tian Ji, the female attendant Yinyu, the 2 black stream cloud wolves, and many other subordinates. They had already heard that the black-robed male waving the folding fan was the famous Senior Z, even in the ancestral family. According to rumors, he was a powerful primal chaos realm magic servant, and his status was higher than ordinary elders of the ancestral family. Letting a primal chaos realm magic servant be his protector. He is indeed Prince Snow Eagle. When will I be able to have a primal chaos realm magic servant as my protector? If I could live my life in glory, it would be worth it even if I died. They were all envious. Dongbo Shuang saw the group of people welcoming him at the entrance of the Marquisdom. He immediately rushed over and shouted, Grandpa Marquis Mother Father. Ha ha ha, Snow Eagle. You have really brought honor to my Yingshan clan. Quite a few friends of mine in the Ardent Fire City have sent a message to me saying that you have gotten through the God Yuan Palace 6th level. Marquis Ardent Fire laughed heartily. He was delighted. Those old friends of mine said that with your comprehension ability, it is possible for you to become a conferred king in the future. But you mustn't be arrogant. After all, you haven't even reached the primal chaos realm yet. Snow Eagle understands, said Dongbo Shuang. Yes. Marquis Ardent Fire nodded with a smile. Let's go. The marquisdom has already prepared a banquet to congratulate you for becoming an inner disciple and for crossing through the God Yuan Palace 6th level. Speaking of which, I'm not even a disciple of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. The number of official disciples of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was pitiful. There were even fewer within the country. Most were either absolute geniuses or primal chaos experts of the void lineage. Naturally, powerful experts like Old Mother Ying were invited to become one of the elders of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, but with the strength of Marquis Ardent Fire, he was not qualified to become an elder. In reality, the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion was also the nation-protecting religion of the Southern Cloud Nation, including the 3 cosmos gods and many conferred kings. They were all considered members of the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion. When Dongbua Shuiying was participating in the banquet held by the marquisdom at the Ying clan ancestral family, hoo-hoo, the gale was howling. On the peak of the snow mountain, Old Mother Ying sat cross-legged on a huge rock. Her consciousness had fused together with the entire Yingshan city. At this moment, she could sense every single part of Yingshan city. Old Mother Prince has returned to the marquisdom. Last night, he went to attend the banquet prepared by Fan Tianchong from the Fan clan. Magic Servancy began reporting the recent events. Tell me in detail. Yes, during the banquet, there was a protector who challenged Prince. Old Mother Yingshan listened to the transmission of Magic Servant Zibai. When she heard about the strength displayed by Dongbua Shuiying in battle, she could not help but smile. Good. He did not rely on the Southern Cloud Sacred Body to execute it. Instead, his realm was sufficient, and he could even transform the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles into a body technique. This comprehension ability was simply frightening, but the more frightening it was, the happier Old Mother Yingshan was because he was a disciple of the Yingshan clan. My Yingshan clan has produced such an absolute genius too. Old Mother Yingshan was incredibly happy, but she did not know. In Dongbua Shuiying's plan, he wanted to mold himself into the strongest genius in the history of the entire Southern Cloud Nation. He had no choice since he did not want to hide his strength forever. But he had to take it easy too. He was still slightly weaker than the most heaven-defying geniuses from the 6 great ancient nations. In the history of the 6 great ancient nations in the realm Heart Great Land, there were some geniuses who were more exaggerated than Dongbua Shuiying. But Dongbua Shuiying suspected that some of those absolute geniuses might reincarnate. Hence, he had to control himself slightly. It was sufficient for him to be the #1 genius in the Southern Cloud Nation. After the banquet, he asked Fan Tianchong for help. He wanted to have a look at an incomplete secret treasure spearhead in the Fan clan's shop. Magic Servant Zibai continued. Incomplete secret treasure spearhead? Old Mother Yingshan felt puzzled. Yes, Prince likes that secret treasure spearhead a lot. When he first came to the Southern Cloud capital, he liked that incomplete secret treasure a lot. I've heard that it was left behind by an absolute expert before the First War of the Ancient Nations, Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master. That time, the manager of the Fan clan's shop did not allow Prince to have a thorough look at that spearhead. This time, Prince took the spearhead and looked at it for a total of 4 hours. Only then did he leave. On the second day, he returned to the Ardent Fire City. Old Mother Yingshan felt puzzled. He likes that incomplete secret treasure. Yes, in the Southern Cloud capital's treasured equipment market. Only that spearhead was what Prince looked at the longest. Prince participated in the Fan clan's banquet, and even defeated that protector to display his strength. From how I see it, it was to make Fan Tianchong pay more attention to you. In the end, Fan Tianchong said that Prince could look for him if he had any trouble. Prince then immediately asked for his help to look at that spearhead. As Magic Servant Zibai had always been following Dongbua Shuiying, he was able to observe the other party thoroughly. He could feel that Dongbua Shuiying liked that incomplete secret treasure spearhead from the bottom of his heart. Oh, Old Mother Yingshan became pensive. Southern Cloud Capital, treasured equipment market, in front of the Fan clan's shop. An old granny came before the shop. It is rare for Old Mother to come to our place. The chubby old man immediately came out to welcome them personally. Even among king-conferred kings, there were still differences in strength. Old Mother Yingshan was clearly one of the strongest. Amen. Old Mother Yingshan nodded. She directly entered. She soon arrived at the third floor. Old Mother Yingshan also came before that floating incomplete secret treasure spearhead. Many scenes of the past flashed through her eyes. She saw how that white-robed young man held onto this spearhead for a long time last night, causing a grin to appear on the edge of Old Mother Yingshan's mouth. This is the incomplete secret treasure left behind by Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master? Old Mother Yingshan asked. Yes, Old Mother. Your Yingshan clan's Snow Eagle Prince has come to see it before. The plump old man chuckled. Price. Old Mother Yingshan said. 500 million cosmos crystals. The plump old man extended his 5 fingers with a grin. The lowest price. Old Mother Yingshan said. Old Mother is an esteemed guest of my fan clan. My clan master has already instructed me before, and I naturally do not dare to bully Old Mother. The lowest price given by the clan is 300 million cosmos crystals, and not a single bit lower. The plump old man said. Old Mother Yingshan softly nodded. She was clear. The secret treasures sold by the fan clan would usually be priced at 10% or 20%. It was rare for it to be priced at 40%. This was an incomplete secret treasure. That was why the fan clan priced it at 40%. Alright, I want it. Old Mother Yingshan nodded. Good. The plump old man said. I wonder if you are giving me cosmos crystals or treasures. Treasures? Old Mother Yingshan said. Being an expert, even if they went out to kill and snatch, they would obtain all sorts of treasures and materials. Quite a few of them would even be turned into powerful treasures for themselves, who would keep a few 100 million cosmos crystals with them. Perhaps powerful cosmos gods might do so, but it was impossible for Old Mother Yingshan to be so extravagant. Who? Old Mother Yingshan waved her hand, causing a black shuttle-shaped weapon to appear. The plump old man immediately took it. He carefully examined it before raising his head. It can be counted as 210 million cosmos crystals at most. Old Mother Yingshan slightly frowned. She waved her hand again, causing many fragmented rare materials to appear. There were a total of several dozen of them. The plump old man carefully examined them. He calculated before raising his head. You are still lacking 20 million cosmos crystals. Still lacking? Old Mother Yingshan frowned. After we buy it, we still have to sell it. We do not know how long it will take before we can sell it. Hence, the purchasing price is naturally lower than the selling price. The plump old man chuckled. Only then did Old Mother Yingshan wave her hand, causing a total of 20 million cosmos crystals to fly out. She did not have many useless treasures with her. She had already used the most expensive ones on herself. This time, she had worked hard to gather enough. Good. The plump old man received it. He chuckled. This secret treasure spearhead belongs to Old Mother from now on. Who? The plump old man kept all the treasures. At the same time, he undid the restrictions placed on him. That secret treasure spearhead also flew over to Old Mother Yingshan. Old Mother Yingshan took it with a wave of her hand. Only then did a grin appear on her face. Even though she had paid so much, Old Mother Yingshan had to grit her teeth. She had even sold one of her weapons in the past, the flying cloud shuttle. Nevertheless, Old Mother Yingshan felt relatively happy in her heart, because it was rare for such an outstanding disciple to appear in the Yingshan clan. With an absolute talent like Dongbo Shuang, if he were to appear in a terrifying clan like the Fan clan, he would have been showered with all sorts of resources. This old granny can't compare with those great clans. But I have to work hard too. With the talent of this little fellow Snow Eagle, it shouldn't be hard for him to become a conferred king. Old Mother Yingshan looked forward to it. Ardent Fire City Marquisdom. A banquet was currently being held within the Marquisdom. It was bustling with activity. Marquis Ardent Fire sat on the main seat, and Dongbo Shuang sat on the first seat to his left. And on the other side, the first seat to his right was Chun Yue, who took the initiative to rush over. Who? An old granny condensed from illusory. She appeared within the palace hall. The elders and disciples within the palace hall immediately stood up. Marquis Ardent Fire, who sat on the main seat, was the first to stand. He immediately came down and bowed. Old ancestor. Old mother. Chen Yuwei also bowed. Old ancestor. Dongbo Shuang said. A series of respectful greetings of old ancestor could be heard in the surroundings. All the elders, disciples, Yingshan Lai Hu, Rong Xing Lan, and others were extremely respectful. Old Mother Yingshan was the foundation that gave the Yingshan clan its current status. Old Mother Yingshan chuckled as she walked over. She looked at Dongbo Shuang. Little fellow Snow Eagle, it is not bad for you to cross through the God Yuan Palace 6th level so quickly, but you still have to properly cultivate. After going to the capital, you should know that this bit of strength of yours is still lacking. Snow Eagle understands. Dongbo Shuang acknowledged. Amen. Old Mother Yingshan threw over a wristband. Properly cultivate then. I'm still waiting for the day you become a conferred king. Saying that, Old Mother Yingshan turned around and left. Dongbo Shuang received the storage wristband. He checked it. There was a simple spearhead floating within. The spearhead caused many spatial ripples to form within the storage space. This is... Dongbo Shuang looked up with shock. He only saw the figure of Old Mother Yingshan gradually dissipating. Chapter 1044. Sensing that piece of spearhead floating within the storage wristband, Dongbo Shuang currently felt complicated. Even though he reincarnated into the realm Heart Great Land, Dongbo Shuang was still concerned about his wife and children in the primal chaos void. In his heart, the primal chaos void was his foundation. He had always been thinking of ways to improve his strength, be it molding himself into an absolute genius, or joining the Southern Cloud sacred religion, so that he could obtain a large number of precious scriptures. These were all for the sake of accumulating his foundation, so that he would be more confident of becoming a cosmos god. Because, only after becoming a cosmos god, could he return to his hometown. In Dongbo Shuang's plan, in the future, after learning the avatar technique, a portion of his avatars would naturally return to his hometown, while the remaining avatars would continue searching for opportunities in the realm Heart Great Land to become stronger. That way, he could deal with the destruction devils and even kill that sacred master. He could even find ways to deal with the calamity of the great apocalypse of the primal chaos void. As for the realm Heart Great Land, he originally thought that it was a land of opportunities for him to become stronger. It was fine for him to take care of the Yingshan clan, his mother, and his sister. But at this moment, Old Mother Yingshan. Dongbo Shuang thought. Old Mother Yingshan was one of the top few conferred kings in the Southern Cloud Nation. She was an unquestionably 10th level existence who could fight against cosmos gods. Hence, she dared to fight against the Qiani clan from the Moonflower Ancient Nation. In addition to the protection given by Southern Cloud King, the Qiani clan could not do anything to Old Mother Yingshan. Reaching the level of Old Mother, she should not have thought of how I could help her in the future. Dongbo Shuang thought. After all, judging from his potential, others would only think that it was amazing if he could reach the 9th level conferred king realm. As for the 10th level, that was too difficult. Only he understood that he had a high chance of reaching the 10th level. Even so, he was merely comparable to Old Mother Yingshan. As for becoming a cosmos god, Dongbo Shuang was clear that it was not easy to achieve this in the realm Heart Great Land. The history of the realm Heart Great Land was much longer than the primal chaos void, yet there were only a few cosmos gods. In the Fan clan, Fan Tianchong was considered an absolute genius. Even after being nurtured by the Fan clan, he was only at the 10th level. Have you never thought that I could help her simply because I am a disciple of the Yingshan clan? Dongbo Shuang thought. The fetters of bloodline. It was his concern for the younger generation of the family. Dongbo Shuang could feel the unrequited care from Old Mother Yingshan. It was the love and concern she had for her juniors, and the hope she had for them to become dragons. Naturally, I won't disappoint you, Dongbo Shuang muttered to himself. He could only remember this feeling in his heart. After the banquet, Dongbo Shuang returned to his residence. Yingshan Lai Hu and Rong Xing Lan were both high-spirited and happy. Father, Mother, Dongbo Shuang said. I'll be entering closed-door cultivation today. I've obtained many scriptures from the Southern Cloud sacred religion, and I'll be studying them properly. This closed-door training might take a long time. We understand. Ying Shanlai nodded. He was going to become a marquis. Amen. Rong Xinglan nodded too. Currently, her son had gotten through the God Yuan Palace 6th level. According to the laws of the Southern Cloud Nation, those who got through the God Yuan Palace 7th level could become a conferred marquis. Zibai Elder Tian, Dongbo Shuang turned to the protectors by the side and ordered, "If there isn't anything important, stop me from entering. Do not disturb me." "All right." Magic servant Zibai and Tian Iji acknowledged. Amen. Dongbo Shuang then walked towards the Void God Pagoda. Seeing the white-robed young man entering the Void God Pagoda by himself, these protectors and servants felt rueful. It was likely that the moment their prince came out of closed-door cultivation would be the moment he became a conferred marquis. How frightening! The conferred marquis was given to their prince so easily, unless it was as the rumors said, and it was possible for their prince to become a conferred king? Within the Void God Pagoda, Dongbo Shuang sat cross-legged on a floating rock. "Have a look at this spear." He flipped his hand excitedly and took out the long spear first. With a thought, the spear shaft and the spearhead began to rotate gradually. Many restrictions inside the spear began to be activated. Soon, the spear shaft and spearhead separated from each other. Flipping his hand, he kept that violet spearhead that was suffused with a bloody and brutal aura. This spearhead looked good, but in reality, Dongbo Shuang did not place it in his eyes at all. In his opinion, this simple gray spear body was much more precious than that violet spearhead. With a flip of his hand, he took out that spearhead that old Mother Yingshan gave him this time. It wasn't easy to obtain. Dongbo Shuang looked at this similarly simple spearhead. The spearhead had caused many void ripples that distorted the void, proving how extraordinary it was. If not for old Mother, it would be hard for me to earn a few 100 million cosmos crystals. Dongbo Shuang thought. Wang. This simple spearhead and spear body began fusing together. At the point of contact, the inscriptions were activated. Wang. The two naturally began fusing together. As all the inscriptions on the spear lit up, the surrounding void immediately trembled. A spear hum reverberated in this Void God Pagoda. This god spear that once accompanied Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master across the realm Heart Great Land regained its original appearance. Since it is the weapon of Senior Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master, I'll call it Scarlet Cloud God Spear then. Dongbo Shuang thought. He then permeated his consciousness into the spear. Hong! The enormous black maelstrom staircase spiraled deeper and deeper. This complex and profound maelstrom staircase could be divided into 3 steps. The 3 steps eventually converged at a single point. Previously, Dongbo Shuang had comprehended the spear body and spearhead separately. The complete inscriptions were merely his conjecture. Now that he saw the complete picture, he discovered that the inscriptions on the spear body and spearhead were more perfect and natural than what he imagined. Haha, let me break through first. Dongbo Shuang guffawed. Hong! The void bloodline in his body was immediately activated, directly breaking through the Unity realm and stepping into the primal chaos realm. At that moment, a world energy maelstrom black hole was formed above him. World energy surged over from the black hole and converged into the body of Dongbo Shuang. It caused his body to evolve and transform. The bloodline in his body became denser and stronger. From now on, his bloodline was the void bloodline at the primal chaos realm. Even the void bloodline at the cosmos god level had become much more perfect. But this also determined the end of the bloodline cultivation path. Cosmos gods, according to the laws and profound mystery system, could control the complete law of the cosmos. Every cosmos god would have different attainments even if they walked on the same Tao path. For instance, Emperor Juyin and Void Primogenitor both walked on the Tao of Void, and the gap between them was huge. For instance, Southern Cloud King and Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master both walked on the Tao of Void, but the 4 of them were different. Hence, the path of others could only be taken by absorbing the crystallization of the predecessor's wisdom. In the end, the final step still had to be taken by oneself. The law of the cosmos. He could no longer be influenced by the supreme law. The complete law of the cosmos allowed the myriad existences to form a single entity. Hence, the cosmos law he comprehended could be used in both the primal chaos void and realm heart great land. It was unlike those at a lower level, like his comprehension of the mirage and illusory realm and the void. Once he came to a different origin world, he would be heavily influenced and had to cultivate from the beginning. The lower the level, the greater the influence the supreme law would have. The cosmos god law could be independent from the supreme law. As for those at the level of sacred master, their goal was even higher. Dongbo Shui Ying's body broke through. His soul was rapidly becoming stronger under the nourishment. He looked down at the spear in his hand. Even though he had broken through to the primal chaos realm, he had never thought of publicizing it. According to his plan, he would enter closed-door cultivation for a long period this time. When he came out, he would tell others that he had cultivated for more than 100 million years to reach the primal chaos realm. At least, he would be considered as an ordinary absolute genius. As for reaching the primal chaos realm in just 5 million years, that was too heaven-defying. Since he did not go out, nobody would know. Breaking through first was for the sake of strengthening his soul. The cultivation speed of a soul at the primal chaos realm was much faster than a soul at the unity realm. By the time I come out, I'll be able to display my strength. There's no need for me to hide it like now, Dongbo Shuang thought. Chapter 1045. The soul at the primal chaos realm greatly boosted Dongbo Shuiying's comprehension speed. He calmed his heart and studied this Scarlet Cloud God Spear that he had just obtained. The Scarlet Cloud God Spear was the weapon used by Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master at his peak. Its power was unparalleled. A complete God Spear was not any less valuable than that Cloud Sky Hammer. Even the Cloud Sky Hammer was given up by Paragon Matron Slave, as she refined a more suitable secret treasure for it. And this Scarlet Cloud God Spear had never been given up. If one were to sell it, it might be slightly more expensive than the Cloud Sky Hammer. Regardless, this was a weapon that cosmos gods could only afford after selling all their treasures. Dongbo Shuang was fortunate. Naturally, he relied on his realm to obtain this spear body in a small place like the Ardent Fire City. According to the spear body, he also found the spearhead in the capital. The spearhead was even bought by Old Mother Ying Shan. Only then did he truly obtain the spear. Actually, the history of the realm Heart Great Land was too long. There were many historical remnants too. During the First and Second War of the Ancient Nations, a frightening number of experts died. There were even more treasures lost outside. Some required luck, and some required foresight. Hoo-hoo! Dongbo Shuang was currently within the Void God Pagoda. He was currently displaying the spear to his heart's content. At times he would calm down and deduce. As time passed, he became more and more amazed by this spear. Wrong. I originally thought that the inscriptions within the Scarlet Cloud God Spear could only deduce two great techniques. One was a domain, and the other was an offensive killing technique. But that was my first time comprehending it. I had not even fused the spear body and spearhead together. Now that I am focusing on it, I can deduce more than just two techniques. Dongbo Shuang became excited. In reality, being the weapon that Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master chose to fight with, he would naturally infuse the techniques he specialized in into the weapon, so that he could unleash his strongest combat power. This weapon could be said to contain more than half of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master's techniques. But a weapon was different from an absolute art. It was refined for combat, and not for imparting to disciples. It was much harder than researching an absolute art. Haha, this is truly a huge opportunity, Shuang sighed. Even the complete Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles had two main combat techniques. With his initial comprehension of the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear, he had already discovered three types. Clearly, the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles was imparted by Southern Cloud King to outsiders, and all inner disciples could learn it. The simplified version was even imparted across the entire realm Heart Great Land, and one could get it by spending some cosmos crystals. Even if one did not join the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, it was still possible to obtain the complete version by paying a huge price. It was naturally impossible for the Southern Cloud King to hide all of his techniques within, like the Avatar Technique, Great Destruction Realm Teleportation Technique, Three Realms Technique, and other techniques. Which of them were not more precious than the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles? So, the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles was merely imparted to outsiders, and it contained two formidable techniques, including the Body Cultivation Technique, the Southern Cloud Sacred Body. He had three techniques. The Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear contained more than half of the Scarlet Cloud Supremacy's combat techniques. Comparing the two, one could see the gap between them. Time passed quietly as Dongbua Shuang continued to cultivate. He was indeed fanatical, because back in his hometown, he was able to create two great 9th-level techniques, and had long reached a bottleneck. Even if he sat there for 100 billion years, it would be hard for him to reap any benefits. But now, be it the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles, comprehending the Scarlet Cloud God Spear, or cultivating the large number of precious books he obtained from the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, he was improving practically at all times. This feeling of improvement made him infatuated. Amazing. The more he cultivated, the more he felt how deep the foundation of the realm Heart Great Land was. Like the primal chaos void, he was already the #1 expert in the illusory realm. He had no other way to learn, and could only explore by himself. And within the illusory realm books obtained by the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion, there were 2 books on how to become a cosmos god. There were 16 other books that were helpful and worth him researching. Dongbua Shuang told others that he would be entering closed-door cultivation for a long time. In reality, it had exceeded the expectations of Marquis Ardent Fire, Ying Shanlai Hu and Rong Xinglan. To other ancient cultivators, this period of closed-door cultivation was not considered much. But to a young cultivator who had just cultivated for 5 million years, this period was truly too long. In the blink of an eye 5 billion years had passed. Black Devil Great Lake. By itself, the Great Lake was not any smaller than a nation. There were also many devils. In terms of strength, the Black Devil Great Lake was much stronger than any of the Black Devil 4 nations. Even the 6 great ancient nations had a hard time eradicating them. In the entire realm Heart Great Land, it was ranked at the forefront of gathering grounds for devils. At this moment, deep within the Black Devil Great Lake, within a grand palace, a green-robed man with a sickly pale face sat on a throne. Around the throne were huge and winding blood-colored phantoms. The blood-colored phantoms occupied almost half of the hall, and the aura they emitted was extremely terrifying, causing the surrounding space to tremble faintly. On the 2 sides of the throne, there were 2 figures seated respectively. One was a huge rock giant. However, his eyes were burning like fireballs, and each of his eyeballs was like a flaming star. And the other was a thin green-haired old man. This green-haired old man had a smile on the edge of his mouth. There was also a thin black snake coiling around his body. According to the rules, the location of the blood sacrifice this time should be the Southern Cloud Nation. The green-robed male seated on the throne said with a cold voice, "The Southern Cloud King isn't someone to be trifled with." The voice of the rock giant rumbled, So what if he isn't? Nobody can stop the blood sacrifice. We have to let the entire Black Devil 4 nations understand that the one who has the final say in the Black Devil 4 nations is our Black Devil Great Lake." The thin green-haired old man sneered. "Like the fiery Zhao Nation, we have frequently massacred and destroyed many cities. And the Southern Cloud Nation has only acted once in a while. This is considered giving the Southern Cloud King a lot of face." The rock giant growled, "I know we should act. I am only saying that we shouldn't be trifled with. We should just choose a small city." "Amen." The thin green-haired old man nodded. "A small city is fine. If it is a huge city, the Southern Cloud King would most likely go mad. Our lineage has to do it beautifully too," the green-robed male said. There were many devils within the Black Devil Great Lake, and they were split into different factions. The blood sacrifice was also done by the three great factions. Choose a small city, and it has to be done beautifully too, the thin green-haired old man said. Then this small city has to be slightly more unique. I feel that there is a small city that isn't bad called Ardent Fire City. This Ardent Fire City has given birth to an amazing genius previously. He is considered amazing even in the Southern Cloud Nation. Exterminating this small city, with such an absolute genius, is also considered shocking and intimidating the Southern Cloud Nation. We should let the entire Southern Cloud Nation know of the prestige of our Black Devil Great Lake. Amen. All right. The rock giant agreed. Then let's pick the Ardent Fire City. The two of you go and arrange it. You must do it beautifully and sacrifice the entire Ardent Fire City. The green-robed male nodded and ordered. Since his two comrades agreed, he would naturally not obstruct the location of the blood sacrifice. Old ancestor. The black-horned muscular figure respectfully looked at the thin green-haired old man seated cross-legged in front of him. The thin green-haired old man had a thin black snake coiling around his body, causing the muscular figure to feel a strand of fear. Rest assured, I've already arranged for the matter you requested of me, the thin green-haired old man said. It is very rare for my Black Devil Great Lake to perform a blood sacrifice to the Southern Cloud Nation. This time, it is our lineage's turn. Only then can I help you. It has already been decided that it will be the Ardent Fire City. By then, you can take your revenge. Many thanks, old ancestor. The black-horned muscular figure was incomparably excited. He had always been trying to gain the favor of the old ancestor. He had even spent more than half his savings to purchase some poisonous materials that the old ancestor liked. Only then did the old ancestor agree to his request. After all, it was too difficult to rely on oneself to take revenge. Not everyone dared to attack the cities of the Southern Cloud Nation. It was even harder to succeed in doing so. They had to make use of the entire Black Devil Great Lake. The Black Devil Great Lake massacred many cities. Firstly, it was to intimidate the other parties. Secondly, it was for the sake of blood sacrifice. Chen Niu, you will also participate in the battle this time. Don't disappoint me, the thin green-haired old man said. Sacrifice the entire Ardent Fire City. Don't leave anyone alive. Yes. The black-horned muscular figure was incomparably excited at this moment. His eyes were filled with anticipation and fighting spirit. He had waited for this day for far too long. He really wanted to see the look of Marquis Ardent Fire's eyes that were about to split apart. He really wanted to see the other party in despair, and the scene of him personally killing Marquis Ardent Fire. Chapter 1046. The sky gradually brightened. Outside the Ardent Fire City, two figures stood on the ground looking at the towering Ardent Fire City. Even though the Ardent Fire City was considered a small city in the Southern Cloud Nation, it was ultimately protected by the incarnations of cosmos gods and primal chaos experts. Being a city where many cultivators gathered, it spanned across 50 billion kilometers, and there were trillions of cultivators within. The cities in the Southern Cloud Nation are built quite extravagantly. The thin green-haired old man looked at the city before chuckling. It's a pity that it will soon turn into a city of death. It is their fortune to be used as a blood sacrifice by my Black Devil Great Lake. The pure and holy white-robed male chuckled by the side. His smile was bright and filled with energy that warmed the hearts of others. His eyes were filled with a fatal attraction, as if he was the most beautiful thing in the world, attracting others to look into his eyes uncontrollably. White Cloud Devil Master, I'll have to trouble you this time, the thin green-haired old man instructed. Haha, it's just a minor matter. Since Religious Master has personally instructed me, I will naturally not neglect this matter. The pure and holy white-robed male chuckled. Amen. The thin green-haired old man waved his hand. Who? A dense group of experts appeared by the side. There were a total of 20 primal chaos giants, and more than 10,000 Unity Realm experts. With more than 10,000 people, it gave off the feeling of a sea of people. These Unity Realm experts were all wearing armor. Clearly, they could form a combat formation. Greetings, old ancestor. Greetings, White Cloud Devil Master. The 20 primal chaos giants greeted respectfully. Following that, the 10,000 Unity Realm soldiers greeted in unison. They were clear of the statuses of the two in front of them. They were both higher-ups within the religion. There was no need to talk about the old ancestor, since he was a cosmos god. And White Cloud Devil Master was also one of the many devil masters within the religion. Those who could be called devil masters were all 10th level existences, and could fight against cosmos gods. Like in the Realm Heart Great Land, some Tier 3 small nations only had a single cosmos god. Any devil master sent out by the Black Devil Great Lake was sufficient to bring chaos to a nation. Amen. The thin green-haired old man nodded. This time, the blood sacrifice will be led by White Cloud Devil Master. All of you must perform the blood sacrifice on the cities of the Southern Cloud Nation beautifully. Intimidate the Southern Cloud Nation and the surrounding 4 nations. Yes. All of them answered in unison, full of confidence. Even that Blackhorn muscular expert Chun Nyo was extremely excited. The Southern Cloud Nation is relatively powerful, and the Black Devil Great Lake places great importance on it. For instance, when the Fiery Zhao Nation destroyed a city, they could just send 1 or 2 primal chaos experts. This time, it is White Cloud Devil Master personally leading the team, along with the 20 of us at the primal chaos realm. Of the 20 of us, 5 have reached the 9th level. Very good, very good. It is precisely so that the entire Ardent Fire City would not be able to resist at all, allowing us to easily destroy them. Marquis Ardent Fire, I have been waiting for this day for far too long. Soon it will begin. I really want to see the despair on your face. Yes, the pure and holy white-robed male nonchalantly ordered. According to the intelligence, only Marquis Ardent Fire and the incarnation of Monarch Chun, you can be considered experts in the Ardent Fire City. Marquis Ardent Fire is in the Marquisdom. Monarch Chun Yu's incarnation was at the Southern Cloud Sacred Palace. Both of them are at the peak of the 8th level, and with the support of the formation, they are barely at the 9th level. Bloodbat, Chun Nyo, the 2 of you lead your primal chaos subordinates to surround and attack Marquis Ardent Fire. Kill him as soon as possible. The remaining primal chaos experts will surround and attack the incarnation of Monarch Chun Yu. The moment it succeeds, all of you will immediately go and support the other party. The other Unity experts will scatter and massacre the entire Ardent Fire City, and I will be the host of the blood sacrifice. The pure and holy white-robed male said. How noble was his identity. He disdained from personally acting. According to logic, there was no need to send out such a powerful team for the blood sacrifice of a city. This was primarily to display their strength and make the surrounding 4 nations more obedient. To prevent any accidents from happening, they had sent a devil master to personally lead the team. Clearly, the Black Devil Great Lake would not allow any accidents to happen. Yes, everyone present acknowledged in unison. Haha, then shall I begin? The thin green-haired old man chuckled by the side. The pure and holy white-robed male nodded too. The thin green-haired old man flipped his hand, causing a scroll to appear. He waved his hand. Who? The scroll abruptly disappeared. When it appeared again, it had already turned into an enormous scroll floating above the Ardent Fire City. Furthermore, an unseen energy had completely enveloped the entire Ardent Fire City. Naturally, the thin green-haired old man and the others outside the city were coincidentally within this region. Spatial seal. By relying on a secret treasure, the space surrounding the Ardent Fire City was completely sealed. Even the destructive realm teleportation technique could not enter. The enormous scroll gradually disappeared into nothingness. The entire space around the Ardent Fire City had disappeared. From this moment onwards, the Ardent Fire City could no longer be seen, touched, or entered. It seemed to be located in another unique space independent of the entire Realm Heart Great Land. Just like the cavern dwelling of Emperor Juyun, even Sacred Master could not find it. Currently, the Ardent Fire City had been isolated by a spatial seal, and within the region enveloped by the seal, outside the city, the pure and holy white-robed male watched this scene. He indifferently ordered, "Move out." So, many teams were teleporting away. of which the strongest two primal chaos teams headed towards the Ardent Fire Marquisdom and Southern Cloud Sacred Palace respectively. Southern Cloud Capital, within the Royal Palace, within a slightly dark palace hall. So. One figure after another quickly appeared in the hall. They stepped inside and sat down. Seated on the throne was a thin and small male wearing a pale yellow robe. His nose was tall, and his eyes were deep. Even though he was thin and small, his body seemed to have fused with the surrounding void. He was the void, and the void was him. This caused an unseen suppression to hold the breath of all experts present. He was none other than the Southern Cloud Sacred Religion Sect Master, one of the 10 great religions in the entire Realm Heart Great Land. King. The atmosphere was stifling. All of them were looking at the king. The deep eyes of Southern Cloud King looked to the distance. With a wave of his hand, a circular mirror floated in midair. It faintly illuminated the endless time-space. Very soon, the scene of the Ardent Fire City appeared on the circular mirror. Blood sacrifice. It's the blood sacrifice of the Black Devil Great Lake. The expressions of the 3 monarchs and 5 conferred kings present were ugly. The 5 conferred kings that could come here were all 10th level experts. No. The incarnation of Old Mother Yingshan was also stationed in the capital. At this moment, she was anxiously watching the scene on the circular mirror. This circular mirror was known as the Heaven Observation Mirror. It could be used to observe any location in the entire Realm Heart Great Land. There were few places that could resist being spied on. Even if the space was sealed and isolated, it would still be able to observe places that couldn't even teleport super long distances. This was also an extremely expensive artifact. Monarch. Old Mother Yingshan immediately stood up. She anxiously said, "This is the Ardent Fire City, the Ardent Fire City of my Yingshan clan. We must absolutely not watch." Southern Cloud King remained silent. His deep eyes were staring at the Heaven Observation Mirror. The disciple of my Yingshan clan, Yingshan Snow Eagle, is also in the Ardent Fire City. His talent is extremely high, and it is certain that he will become a conferred king. Old Mother Yingshan anxiously added, "What can I do?" Southern Cloud King finally spoke. His voice was low and cold. "Should we act? If I break their tacit understanding, it would be the same as slapping the faces of the 3 sect masters of the Black Devil Great Lake. When they are angered, the 3 religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake would act. By then, it would be a great war that engulfs the entire Southern Cloud Nation, and the casualties would be unimaginable." Old Mother Yingshan was momentarily speechless. She understood. She understood everything. Even though the Southern Cloud King had managed the entire Southern Cloud Nation to a flourishing and prosperous state, the Southern Cloud King did not care about the Southern Cloud Nation at all. But the essence of the entire Realm Heart Great Land was that the strong ruled. The 3 religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake were all terrifying devils that brought calamity to the entire Realm Heart Great Land. Even the 6 great ancient nations could not eliminate them. The Black Devil 4 nations were shrouded under their shadows. Comparatively speaking, the Southern Cloud Nation was the best. The Fiery Zhao Nation had massacred many times. The Black Devil Great Lake would occasionally do so, but they would not kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. The Cosmos gods from the Fiery Zhao Nation did not dare to resist. The Snow Hook Nation dared to fight against the 6 great ancient nations. The king's temper was also ruthless, and he similarly fought against the Black Devil Great Lake. But the face of the 6 great ancient nations, and the Black Devil Great Lake, was not that easy to slap. Hence, the Snow Hook Nation had suffered from quite a few calamities in the history. Nonetheless, the Black Devil Great Lake felt headaches too. After all, it was too hard to chew on bones. Hence, they would usually not act. The moment they did, they would teach the other party a harsh lesson. The Maple Nest Nation was closest to the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. In reality, it had long pledged allegiance to the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. With the protection from the Summer Wind Ancient Nation, it was slightly better. The Black Devil Great Lake rarely went there to cause calamity. After all, the Black Devil Great Lake was not afraid of the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. They similarly dared to cause calamity in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. Only the Southern Cloud Nation was considered to have the fewest number of times. The Southern Cloud King was powerful, and he had befriended many places. He had even befriended the 3 religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake in the dark. But no matter how they befriended each other, the Black Devil Great Lake would still occasionally conduct a blood sacrifice. Most would choose a small city within the Southern Cloud Nation. This was a hidden rule. Both parties were abiding by it. The Black Devil Great Lake regained its face, and the Southern Cloud Nation maintained its overall stability and prosperity. But, Old Mother Yingshan looked at that mirror floating in midair. Looking at the reflection of a pure and holy white-robed male, who was seated cross-legged in midair with a black bottle floating in front of him, Old Mother Yingshan could recognize with a single glance that that was the Devil Master class existence from the Black Devil Great Lake, White Cloud Devil Master. But my Yingshan clan disciples and little fellow Shui Ying, Old Mother Yingshan felt her heart aching. Other than the ancestral family, the Yingshan clan had 6 branch families. The Ardent Fire City was one of them. So many disciples from the Yingshan clan, and that outstanding Shuang little fellow. How could this be? How could this be? Old Mother Yingshan felt her heart aching. She wanted to kill her way over. But she knew, under the spatial seal, she could not even find the Ardent Fire City. In the entire Southern Cloud Nation, only Southern Cloud King, who could execute the Great Destruction Realm teleportation technique, could enter. But it was impossible for Southern Cloud King to fall out with the 3 religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake because of this matter. Damn. The deep eyes of Southern Cloud King were calm. It was like an endless ocean without the slightest ripple. Yet below it, endless raging waves were accumulating. The cities under him, his people, and now they were being massacred and sacrificed. How could he not be furious? But sometimes he had to endure. When facing the Black Devil Great Lake, he had to endure. When facing the 6 great ancient nations, he had to endure too. Chapter 1047. Of the 10 great religions in the realm Heart Great Land, 8 were occupied by the 6 great ancient nations. For the religion he created to be ranked in the top 10, it showed how powerful Southern Cloud King was. He looked down on the Snowhook King. Even though the Snowhook King was strong, he cared more about himself. The moment he was angered, he would fight head-on with the 6 great ancient nations and the Black Devil Great Lake. Every time a great calamity occurred, the entire Snowhook Nation would suffer from casualties. And the Southern Cloud Nation was the most stable and prosperous nation among the Black Devil 4 nations. I wonder when the Black Devil Great Lake will be completely destroyed, Southern Cloud King thought. He looked at the floating heaven observation mirror silently. The 3 monarchs and 5 conferred kings present were also watching. My incarnation is currently being attacked by 12 primal chaos existences, of which 3 have reached the 9th level. Monarch Chun, you had a cold expression. He said, my incarnation can't hold on for long. His incarnation had been sleeping there for a long period of time. By relying on his incarnation, he could maintain his consciousness. The moment his incarnation was destroyed, Monarch Chun, you could not sense the Ardent Fire City, which was sealed by space. Naturally, he could not send his incarnation down. Usually, when a city was under attack, the incarnation of a cosmos god could easily descend. Furthermore, a large number of experts could teleport over to reinforce the city. Hence, nobody dared to kill wantonly within the city of a powerful nation. But this was the Black Devil Great Lake. Before acting, they would first seal the space. Why? My Yingshan clan has many disciples, and that little fellow Snow Eagle. Why can't they give him more time to grow? Old Mother Yingshan felt the greatest pain in her heart. She was furious. Given her temper, she would have killed her way over. It's a pity that she could not enter. Old Mother. Empress ghostly consoled her from the side. And in the Black Devil Great Lake, there was a grand and vast palace. Its interior was luxurious and filled with all sorts of precious gems. There were even many arrays covering the walls of the palace. The entire palace was vaguely filled with endless power. At this moment, there were 3 existences seated at the highest point. The one at the center was a black-robed middle-aged male. Behind him was a huge and strange six-ring diagram. This six-ring diagram was constantly revolving. It seemed to contain endless death energy within. Even the cosmos gods present did not dare to carefully examine that six-ring diagram. With a cursory glance, he felt his mind being shaken and fear rising in his heart. The one on the left was an old man, sitting with a smile on his face. At first glance, one would have a good impression of him. He did not give off any pressure. The one on the right was a green-robed man with a sickly pale face. Around him was a huge blood-colored wriggling phantom. The three of them. He was one of the three religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake, a great devil whose name spread across the entire realm Heart Great Land. Many clans from the 6 great ancient nations would feel fear when they heard his name. Haha, it is rare for us to act against the Southern Cloud Nation. By then, the scene of the blood sacrifice will likely attract the attention of many nations. There were a total of 7 cosmos gods, seated below, along with a group of devil masters. In the entire hall, there were only about 20 people who were qualified to sit. Of course, most of them were just clones. For some small countries, even if a city is sacrificed, it's not worth mentioning. The Southern Cloud Nation being sacrificed in a city was a huge piece of news, and the Black Devil 4 nations would definitely be paying attention to it. Some of the nearby countries will also pay attention to it. You have to do it beautifully. All of them were chatting and laughing. All of them were devils. Speaking from the depths of their hearts, they preferred living in flourishing places. Why would they like to hide in the Black Devil Great Lake, where space was unpredictable? But they had no choice. The 6 great ancient nations needed stability, and to produce more cultivators. Hence, these devils were being hunted down. Some who were stronger would rely on the great clans as honored guests, and some who offended too much would not be accepted by the great clans. They could only escape. They fled to a place where demons gathered, where everyone huddled together. And massacring a city for a blood sacrifice made these devils feel delighted, because after escaping for a long time, they would occasionally bare their fangs against these nations. So what if it is the Southern Cloud Nation? In the future, I'll find a chance to sacrifice a city from the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. Only then will I feel delighted. Don't be anxious. There will be a chance in the future. Come, let's have a drink. The cosmos gods and the various devil masters were chatting and laughing, and the 3 religious masters seated at the highest position would occasionally speak. The atmosphere in the entire hall was extremely joyous. Within Ardent Fire City Marquisdom, within the Void God Pagoda, within the residence of Dongbo Shuang, on a floating great rock, a handsome white-robed young man sat cross-legged there, with a spear placed on his knees. Hung long, the space within the Void God Pagoda was surging like a tidal wave. This surging spatial wave contained many hidden undercurrents tearing at it. This tearing power was abnormally horrifying. If ordinary primal chaos existences dared to appear here, they would most likely be torn apart and die on the spot. Dongbo Shuang was ultimately used to cultivating. It was not a big deal for him to enter closed-door cultivation for 10 billion years. Currently it had only been 5 billion years, yet he was still completely immersed in it. According to his habits in his previous life, he would usually come out when he had reached a bottleneck. Now that he frequently comprehended new things, he was not in a rush to leave. Snow Eagle, hurry up and come out. Marquis Ardent Fire anxiously transmitted. Prince, hurry up and come out. Magic Servant Zibai transmitted. Prince, hurry up and come out. We are not going to make it in time. Tianiji anxiously transmitted. Let Magic Servant Zibai protect you. I have some troubles over here too, and I can't even protect myself. Don't come over to my place. Marquis Ardent Fire transmitted again. Consecutive transmissions. It caused Dongbo Shuang, who was immersed in his cultivation, to abruptly stop. He was slightly startled. These consecutive transmissions made Dongbo Shuang's heart tighten. Grandpa Marquis can't even protect himself? Dongbo Shuang was startled. He could not care about anything else. South, he grabbed onto the Scarlet Cloud God Spear. Following that, he took a step and arrived at the exit of the Void God Palace. Hong long long. The sealed door of the palace began opening. The moment a gap opened, Dongbu Shuang teleported out with the So. Who? Arriving outside the Void God Palace, magic servant Z. Bai was no longer as carefree as usual. He no longer waved the fan in his hand. Instead, he anxiously said, "Don't resist. I'll bring you away." Saying that, he was prepared to keep Dongbu Shuang into his Eden treasure. But following that, magic servant Z Bai stopped. He looked at Dongbu Shuang with slight shock. The aura of his prince, Primal Chaos Realm? Prince, you broke through to the Primal Chaos Realm? Magic servant Z Bai was startled. His prince was someone of the Void lineage. If he broke through to the Primal Chaos Realm, he would be much stronger than a magic servant when it came to escaping through the Void. Amen. Dongbu Shuang casually acknowledged. He then carefully looked into the distance. His gaze penetrated through the obstruction of the Void. He could see the highest point in the center of the entire Ardent Fire City. There was a pure and holy white-robed male seated cross-legged in midair. There was a strange black bottle floating in front of him. The black bottle was emitting a faint ripple. The range of this ripple was vast, yet it enveloped every single part of the entire Ardent Fire City. What ripple? What is its use? Dongbu Shuang felt puzzled. This ripple did not seem to be dangerous. But closely following that, he understood. Kill. Given his realm, his vision could see every corner of the entire city. He could see the massive Ardent Fire City. Many armored teams were currently wantonly slaughtering. Every team formed by Unity Realm experts could erupt with a God Yuan Palace 6th level combat power. How could the citizens of the Ardent Fire City resist? They were easily slaughtered. As they were slaughtered, an unseen energy would flow along with the ripple into that black bottle. Blood sacrifice? Dongbu Shuang understood. He had read through many miscellaneous books in the Southern Cloud sacred religion, and he knew about the blood sacrifice from the Black Devil Great Lake. Just like in the Primal Chaos Void, killing destruction devils would allow the dissipated energy to be absorbed to nourish the soul. And when the destruction devils killed the cultivators, they would be nourished and become stronger. Hence, when the soul of a cultivator died, there would be a unique energy dissipating. It's just that the cultivators could not absorb it themselves in the Primal Chaos Void. Only the destruction devils could. But in the Realm Heart Great Land, they had long discovered the unique energy within the soul of every living being. That was the strand of origin energy in the entire origin world. And it could be harvested. Blood sacrifice was meant to absorb the origin energy from the souls of countless cultivators. But the core of the entire blood sacrifice was that blood sacrifice magic bottle. In the entire Realm Heart Great Land, the number of cosmos gods who knew how to refine this blood sacrifice treasure could be counted with one's fingers. Out of the 6 great ancient nations, only 3 great ancient nations knew how to refine a blood sacrifice treasure. One could see how difficult this technique was. And one of the 3 religious masters from the Black Devil Great Lake, Yama religious master, knew how to refine a blood sacrifice treasure. Blood sacrifice? Blood sacrifice for the Ardent Fire City? Dongbu Shuang was startled. Following that, endless fury filled his chest. His eyes turned red. Saying it was slow, but Dongbu Shuang's heart moved fast. In reality, it had only been the blink of an eye since he exited closed-door cultivation. Prince, we should hurry up and leave. I've brought Madam and Ying Shan Shiyu into the Eden treasure. As for Prince's father, Ying Shan Lai Hu, he should still be in the Misty Cloud Pavilion. It is too far, and we can't save him in time. Magic servant Z Bai anxiously urged. I discovered Ying Shan Snow Eagle. A joyful voice could be heard from the distance. Chapter 1048. Being one of the branches of the Ying Shan clan that had reproduced for 1 trillion years, the marquisdom had many clansmen and occupied a vast area. There were quite a few teams of Unity Realm devils currently wreaking havoc. Every team consisted of 100 people and had a God Yuan Palace 7th level strength. They were killing wantonly, under the situation where the strongest force in the marquisdom was being surrounded by 8 primal chaos experts. These teams of devils were unparalleled. We discovered Ying Shan Snow Eagle. A team of devils immediately became joyous. They looked at that white-robed young man, who flashed out from the Void God Pagoda. The white-robed young man turned around and gave this team of devils a cold look. Don't resist. Dongbo Shuang waved his hand. He was about to keep Magic Servant Z Bai into his Eden treasure. Prince. Magic Servant Z Bai resisted forcefully. He anxiously transmitted over. I can help you, Prince. He felt that the moment he erupted, he would have an 8th level strength. Dongbo Shuang slightly frowned as he looked at Magic Servant Z Bai by his side. Who? Following that, his gaze landed on the nearest team of devils. That team of devils was currently chasing after the escaping Yingshan clan clansmen. Even though they discovered Dongbo Shuang, they could only report upwards, since they could determine with a glance that this Snow Eagle Prince had broken through to the Primal Chaos realm. A team of Unity Realm experts like them did not have the confidence of dealing against him. Die. Dongbo Shuang coldly said. Hua. The void where that team of devils was at suddenly distorted. Every single Unity Realm devil had many cracks appearing on their bodies. At that moment, the 100 devils dissipated like dust. They disappeared from the world. No. Quickly leave. I'll block them. Those Yingshan clan clansmen who were being chased were either fleeing for their lives or defending their loved ones. But suddenly, they discovered to their astonishment that the 100 devils that were slaughtering in midair had many cracks appearing on their bodies. Following that, they disappeared. What? Magic Servant Z Bai looked at this scene with shock. They are a total of 5 million kilometers away from me, yet Prince could kill them in an instant. After all, it was a battle formation that could exert the combat power of the 7th level of the Yuanshan Palace. Even if he fought in close combat and went all out, he would have to spend some moves to deal with it. His young master could easily kill them from thousands of miles away. What level of strength did he have to reach? Don't resist anymore. Dongbo Shuang said again, as he waved his hand to envelop Magic Servant Z Bai. If you need me, young master, feel free to give the order. Magic Servant Z Bai immediately transmitted. This time he didn't resist. Dongbo Shuang accepted Magic Servant Z Bai. His heart calmed down. Because his mother and sister were both kept by Magic Servant Z Bai, he insisted on accepting Magic Servant Z Bai. As for being an assistant, Magic Servant Z Bai's strength was of no help to Dongbo Shuang at this moment. It would only distract him. Although Marquis is in danger, he should be able to hold on for 1 or 2 breaths of time. Dongbo Shuang looked into the distance. Marquis Ardent Fire led the most elite 5,000 Ardent Fire soldiers. Furthermore, they were supported by the arrays of the Marquisdom. Even though he was at a disadvantage against the 8 Primal Chaos experts working together, he should be able to hold on for some time. Save them. Currently, there were a total of 7 teams of devils in the entire Marquisdom. Each team consisted of 100 people. At any moment, these teams of devils would kill more than 10,000 Yingshan clansmen. Dongbo Shuang had to eliminate them first. To deal with them, he only had to teleport before executing the Scarlet Cloud domain to kill them. Executing it 7 times consecutively would suffice. A breath of time was sufficient. Southern Cloud Nation within the royal palace. The king, 3 monarchs, and 5 conferred kings were all looking at the circular mirror floating in midair. Little fellow Snow Eagle. Old Mother Yingshan saw the white-robed young man appearing on the circular mirror. She could not help but feel her heart tightening. But closely following that, the white-robed young man on the circular mirror coldly shouted die, causing a team of 100 devils 5 million kilometers away to turn into nothingness. Little fellow Snow Eagle has reached the Primal Chaos realm, and has even grasped a relatively formidable domain technique? Old Mother Yingshan felt both happy and sad. She was happy that this little fellow Snow Eagle did not disappoint her expectations. But so what if he killed some Unity Realm small fries? This domain technique should only have an 8th level strength. So what if Yingshan Snow Eagle was at the 8th level peak or even 9th level? Currently, the enemies were a total of 20 Primal Chaos devils, of which 5 were at the 9th level. Furthermore, they were not fighting one-on-one. Instead, they were fighting in a combat formation. Did they not see how the incarnation of Monarch Chunyu, who had relied on the arrays to support himself with a 9th-level strength, was about to die. Marquis Ardent Fire had a total of 5,000 Ardent Fire Army elites forming a huge formation, and was even reinforced by the arrays. Yet he was still suppressed? So what if this little fellow Snow Eagle could do? Furthermore, the enemies had an incredibly powerful 10th-level expert, White Cloud Devil Master. That was someone who could fight against Cosmos gods. Even some new Cosmos gods would be completely suppressed and defeated by White Cloud Devil Master. Was this strength something a little fellow could resist against? He is a genius. His domain technique should be at least at the 8th level standard. Monarch Skyene muttered. A pity. Emperor Greedy Peng shook his head slightly as well. Southern Cloud King remained calmly watching. He expressionlessly looked at the circular mirror floating in midair. If it were during ordinary times, he might reveal a grin when he saw this stunning young fellow. But now, he only felt humiliated. Because as the king, he could only watch as everything happened. He could only watch as the entire Ardent Fire City was massacred and sacrificed. He could only watch as this talented young fellow eventually died in the hands of the Primal Chaos Devils, led by White Cloud Devil Master. In another location within the Southern Cloud Capital, within the residence of the Fan clan, there were also more than 10 experts sitting in the palace hall watching the battle. There was also a heaven observation mirror floating in midair in the palace hall. The person sitting on the main seat was naturally the tall and fat man Fan Tianchong. The Black Devil Lake is still as arrogant and domineering as ever. Fan Tianchong muttered. My Summer Wind Ancient Nation has also sent many expeditions to the Black Devil Great Lake. But it's a pity that even though my Summer Wind Ancient Nation had occasional harvests, by relying on the terrain, the devils from the Black Devil Great Lake have also caused huge losses to my Summer Wind Ancient Nation. Much less the Black Devil Four Nations. The Southern Cloud Nation was considered good, but occasionally, a city would be sacrificed for the blood sacrifice. Ha! Yingshan Snow Eagle? It's that Yingshan Snow Eagle. His potential is huge. He will definitely become a conferred king. It isn't hard for him to reach the 9th level. What a pity. The other spectators in the palace hall were discussing. Fan Tianchong nodded too. It is indeed a pity. White Cloud Devil Master led a group of primal chaos devils, and he couldn't resist at all. Fan Tianchong softly shook his head. Even though it was regretful to see a young genius fall, he did not care too much about it. Because in the vast realm Heart Great Land, many geniuses would fall before they became absolute experts. Within the bamboo house surrounded by flowing water, a beautiful violet-robed girl sat on the ground. She was currently holding an embroidery needle and was slowly embroidering a diagram. The Ardent Fire City is suffering from the blood sacrifice from the Black Devil Great Lake. The incarnation of Monarch Chunyu is about to dissipate. Marquis Ardent Fire is currently leading 5,000 Ardent Fire Army elites to resist, but they can't hold on for long. Yingshan Snow Eagle has come out of closed-door cultivation. He has reached the Primal Chaos Realm and used his domain technique to exterminate a team of Unity Realm devils. A piece of intelligence was transmitted to Qianni Shao. Qianni Shao was the manager of the Moonflower Ancient Nation's Qianni clan in the Southern Cloud Nation. Naturally, she would receive detailed intelligence at any time. But she did not have the Heaven Observation Mirror. The Heaven Observation Mirror was too luxurious. In the entire Southern Cloud Nation, only the Southern Cloud King and Fan clan had the 2 Heaven Observation Mirrors. At this moment, the Qianni clan was watching from afar within the Moonflower Ancient Nation. They were also transmitting the intelligence over. Yingshan Snow Eagle has come out of closed-door cultivation? What a pitiful fellow. Truly pitiful. The violet-robed girl Qian Yishao muttered with a chuckle. She did not care about it. Even the matter of Ardent Fire City did not affect her interest in embroidering. Ardent Fire City. South, with a teleportation, Shuang appeared not too far away from a team of 100 Unity Realm devils. That team of devils had formed a combat formation, and the members were currently killing in all directions. With their combat power, even if they met the elders and honored guests from the marquisdom, they would easily kill them. All of them were killing wantonly, Whichever technique that was powerful and had a wide area, they would execute it. Hong Long Long, many places below were destroyed. The Yingshan clan members were fleeing in all directions. Nevertheless, large batches of them still died. Dongbo Shuang felt anxious. But he knew that if he split out an incarnation without relying on the Scarlet Cloud God Spear, it would be hard for him to kill a team of 100 devils. Who? The surrounding void suddenly trembled. The bodies of the 100 Unity Realm devils trembled, forming many cracks. Closely following that, they turned into ashes. Dead? They are dead. Dead. The Yingshan clan members who were fleeing in despair could not help but stop. They watched with shock as those devils turned into ashes. Following that, they discovered that white-robed young man who was emitting a primal chaos aura. It's Prince Snow Eagle. It is Prince Snow Eagle who killed those devils. The Yingshan clan members became wild with joy at that moment. The pride of their Yingshan clan, that legendary genius disciple, Yingshan Snow Eagle, had become a primal chaos giant and was currently killing those devils. He must be able to. Prince Snow Eagle will definitely kill all those devils. Too formidable. The Yingshan clan members saw hope. They looked forward to killing all enemies that came. These ordinary clansmen did not understand how terrifying the enemies this time were. Next location. After killing the enemies, Dongbo Shuang did not stop. He immediately teleported to another location. The Blackhorn muscular male Chen Nio led 3 primal chaos experts. An enormous black cloud vaguely appeared in the surroundings. They were like a single entity, and being the leader, Chen Nio's power was exceptionally terrifying. After all, he was at the 9th level, and currently, he was leading 3 primal chaos experts in a combat formation. Their team held the upper hand against Marquis Ardent Fire, much less the other team by the side. Xuefu was a cold old man. He similarly led 3 primal chaos experts in a combat formation. One could see an enormous black Xuefu mutated beast illusion appearing in midair. The surrounding temperature rapidly dropped, and some ice dregs and snowflakes appeared. Brother Xuefu, even though Chen Nio's killing intent was overflowing, he noticed the distant white-robed young man with a glance. It is that little Prince Snow Eagle. He is currently killing our subordinates. You should go. Your team can deal with him the fastest. All right. The cold old man glanced at Dongbo Shuang from afar. Their team specialized more in dealing against the weak, and they could kill them in an instant. Let us go. The cold old man transmitted an order. Chapter 1049. Snow Eagle Run Run. Marquis Ardent Fire anxiously transmitted over. At this moment his eyes were about to tear apart. He led the 5,000 Ardent Fire Army elites, forming a fiery red giant dragon that was currently fighting with all his might. Every single soldier of the Ardent Fire Army was also doing their best. They were clear that the moment they were defeated, given how these devils were currently wantonly slaughtering people in the Ardent Fire City, it was impossible for them to be spared. There was no way out. All the soldiers were fighting with their lives on the line. Anxious? Have you gone mad? It's useless. Ha ha ha, Marquis Ardent Fire. In the past, our tribe was struggling at death's door in the wilderness, carefully surviving. Even though it was hard for us to survive, we were united. That was our home. Just because you chased after a demon, with just one move, Fire Dragon descends from the heavens. The devil dodged your move, but our tribe was wiped out because of it. Only a dozen or so of us survived. We fled in all directions, and our fellow tribesmen died one after another. I entered the Black Devil Lake and experienced countless calamities. During the calamity of millions of goo worms, I was one of the 10 goo kings who survived. That's why I'm qualified to be a member of the Black Devil Great Lake. Amongst the many members at the bottom level, I struggled and eventually became the disciple of a primal chaos expert. Devils, even fellow apprentices, are killing each other. Only the one who survives in the end is the strongest demon. I reached the primal chaos realm, and even reached the 9th level. I am now stronger than you. It's a pity that you have the protection of the Yingshan clan and the Southern Cloud Nation. I've been waiting and waiting. Ha ha ha, this day has finally arrived. Back then, why didn't you control yourself a little and avoid our race? As long as you wish it, my entire race can survive. But you didn't. That's right, we are ants. Ants. The weak are ants. They deserve to die. They deserve to die. The eyes of the black-horned muscular male were filled with madness. At the same time, many voice transmissions sounded in the mind of Marquis Ardent Fire. This was Chun Nio's greatest obsession. It was the obsession that allowed him to climb from the lowest level of the nightmarish Black Devil Great Lake to where he was today. At this moment, he was finally about to take his revenge. Naturally, he had to reveal everything and let this Marquis Ardent Fire understand. He died. His entire Ardent Fire city was destroyed. It was all because he had implicated a clan back then. There are many cities in the southern Cloud Nation. Originally, it might not be your Ardent Fire city. But because of Mimi, I was the one who thought of ways to make Old Ancestor, and the others choose the Ardent Fire city. Haha, you destroyed my clan. Today I will kill you, exterminate your clan, and destroy your city. In the future, your entire Yingshan clan will be exterminated, hahaha. Many voice transmissions sounded in the mind of Marquis Ardent Fire. Marquis Ardent Fire gritted his teeth. He was a callous person to begin with. Why would he care if every move of his would affect the weak when he was out on a campaign? But right now, he was still glaring angrily at the black-horned burly man in front of him. Snow Eagle, run. Run for your life. They are too strong, too strong. As long as we can hold on for a day, they will retreat. Marquis Ardent Fire transmitted to Dongbua Shuang. He knew that he could not survive. Hence, he hoped that Dongbua Shuang could survive. Being a primal chaos expert of the void lineage, he specialized in escaping. He might have a slim chance of surviving for a day in the vast Ardent Fire city. One day. This was also the tacit understanding between the Black Devil Great Lake and Southern Cloud King. The blood sacrifice would last for at most a day. Regardless of success or failure, they had to retreat. But facing the team led by White Cloud Devil Master, it was likely that the entire Ardent Fire city would be massacred within an hour. This was primarily because the entire Ardent Fire city was too big, and there were too many citizens. As for Marquis Ardent Fire, the incarnation of Monarch Chunyu, and Yingshan Snow Eagle, they could be resolved within a short period according to the plans of the Black Devil Great Lake. Even though the anxious voice of Marquis Ardent Fire reverberated by his ears, Dongbua Shuang continued teleporting. Die. He coldly stared at a team of 100 Unity Realm devils nearby. Many cracks appeared on the bodies of those devils before they turned into ashes. Prince Snow Eagle. Prince Snow Eagle has saved us. We are saved. Our marquisdom is saved. The Ardent Fire City is saved. The Yingshan clansmen who were saved saw hope amidst despair. In their opinion, Prince Snow Eagle, who was emitting a primal chaos aura, was incredibly powerful. He could kill those devils in an instant, and it was likely that he could save the entire Ardent Fire City. No choice. In the eyes of ordinary citizens, every single primal chaos expert was high above them. I am not willing, I am not willing. I have just broken through to the Void God realm, and am qualified to be a disciple of the Yingshan clan. I can let my mother live a good life. Why must I die now? No. A Yingshan clan disciple broke through to the Unity realm under the crisis of death. But facing the incoming team of devils, he was filled with despair. As he escaped, he was constantly paying attention to the team of devils behind him. But suddenly, many cracks appeared on the bodies of those devils before they turned into ashes. This Yingshan clan disciple stopped in a daze. He looked at that white-robed young man standing in midair. The white-robed young man stood in midair. His primal chaos aura emanated a suppressive force that made the disciple involuntarily look up. Prince Snow Eagle? The Yingshan clan disciple recognized him. The pride of the Marquis Ardent Fire lineage. He was the pride of the entire Yingshan clan. A legendary genius. It is Prince Snow Eagle. This Yingshan clan disciple was filled with joy. He had never worshipped Snow Eagle so much before. At this moment, Prince Snow Eagle was shining brightly in his heart. His status had surpassed that of Marquis Ardent Fire, and was only second to Old Mother Yingshan. Dongbo Shueying could not tolerate the slaughter of the weak little humans, much less when they were also from the Yingshan clan. Your teleportation is quite fast. Who? At the same time when Dongbo Shueying executed his domain technique to kill the fourth team of devils, four primal chaos experts appeared in the surroundings. The leading one was a cold old man. After the cold old man teleported, an unseen law domain descended in the surrounding world. The surrounding time-space was vaguely suppressed. Being a 9th level expert, the law domain was perfect. The law domain of a primal chaos expert was considered a miniature cosmos law, and was originally powerful. The cold old man Xuefu was even at the 9th level. Under the suppression of his law domain, even cosmos gods had a hard time sneaking in. Under the suppression of the law domain, nobody could teleport. Dongbo Shueying looked at the 4 primal chaos experts in front of him. With his attainments in the void, he would be able to sense the moment the other party teleported. According to logic, he should have teleported immediately and could have escaped. But he did not. Instead, he continued killing those teams of devils. Snow Eagle, why aren't you escaping? Marquis Ardent Fire, who was observing this scene from afar, became even more anxious. With your void strength, you should be able to escape in time. Don't care about your clansmen. In the entire Ardent Fire City, you should be the only one who has a strand of hope of surviving. The others have no hope at all. Marquis Ardent Fire felt both grateful and angry that Dongbo Shueying was still saving his clansmen at this moment. Hua hua hua, a cold wind blew. The surrounding temperature rapidly dropped. Ice shards and snowflakes began appearing in the sky. The cold old man Xuefu and the 3 primal chaos experts under him maintained the combat formation. One could see an enormous black Xuefu illusion appearing. This Xuefu's body was covered in blood veins. His eyes were blood too. The surrounding temperature was so cold that ordinary Unity experts would freeze to death. As the cold wind blew on his face, Dongbo Shueying tightened his grip on the Scarlet Cloud God's spear in his hand. What a pity! You are a genius. If you were given enough time, it is possible for you to reach my level of strength. But it's a pity that you will die today. The cold old man Xuefu's voice was cold. The 3 primal chaos experts by the side were also looking at Dongbo Shueying with pity. Kill him, the cold old man said. Do it. Kill. All of them were relaxed. But they did not show any mercy when killing. After all, this was a great devil at the primal chaos realm. They wanted to kill him as soon as possible before working together to eliminate Marquis Ardent Fire. Wang. A strange sound could be heard. What is that sound? Of the 4 primal chaos experts, a golden-robed devilish young man was slightly startled. Closely following that, he lowered his head and saw a huge hole appearing on his chest. Under the strange sound, a strange ripple spread across his entire body. The golden-robed young man's body was crushed into powder, and he vanished into thin air. Wang. 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 The 3 primal chaos experts could only see a blurry spear shadow flashing. A bloody hole appeared on their chests, and their bodies shattered into fine powder before dissipating. Hong hong hong. Only the cold old man Xuefu let out a roar amidst his shock. Chen Niao. He did his best to defend against it. However, the seemingly ordinary spearhead strangely appeared behind him with a terrifying might. It directly pierced into his body, causing a part of his body to be annihilated. It was a silent annihilation. This cold old man felt incomparably terrified. Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles. Shattering the void? But since when did shattering the void become so strange? I can't defend against it at all. Even though he did his best to defend against it, the surrounding void distorted strangely. 3 consecutive spears pierced through his body, causing his body to be destroyed. The final spear pierced through his throat. His head also began disintegrating at that moment. He looked with wide eyes at the cold white-robed young man who was wielding a spear. He did not dare believe. He did not dare believe that he would die in the hands of a young man. How could this be? Following that, his consciousness was completely destroyed. Silence. Previously, when the team of Unity Realm Devils was being massacred, the other teams of devils above the Marquisdom were also watching from afar. Even the black-horned muscular male Chen Niu, who was fighting with Marquis Ardent Fire, and the other 3 primal chaos experts were paying attention to this place. Marquis Ardent Fire was also anxiously paying attention to this place. But at this moment, it was silent. Nobody, no matter who it was, would have thought that this would be the outcome. A 9th-level primal chaos expert led 3 primal chaos experts to form a combat formation, and the 3 subordinates were all turned into fine particles before turning into ashes. The only 9th-level expert, Xuefu, was killed in just 3 spears. He could not even block a single spear. Southern Cloud Nation, within the royal palace. Old Mother Shan, Empress Ghost Li, Gong Liang Yi, and the other conferred kings, including Monarch Sky Yin, Monarch Chunyu, and Monarch Greedy Peng, were all watching the scene displayed on the circular mirror in a daze. In their hearts, they originally thought that they were going to see an absolute genius being killed. But at this moment, what they saw stunned them momentarily. They did not know what to say. The eyes of Southern Cloud King, that were originally cold and calm, without the slightest expression, abruptly brightened. He stared at the circular mirror floating in midair and shouted, "Good!" Chapter 1050. Following Southern Cloud King's good. The group of people in the palace hall who were originally stunned reacted. They could not be blamed, since the scene shown on the circular mirror was too shocking. Formidable. A combat formation formed by 4 primal chaos existences was actually broken by him? Monarch Skyyin exclaimed, "That's right. This is a combat formation led by Old Devil Xuefu. In terms of defense, it should be at least at the peak of the 9th level. Even if I acted, it wouldn't be that easy to break it." Monarch Chunyu exclaimed from the side, "A truly powerful battle formation, even if it was a soul-type attack, would be blocked by the strongest expert of the entire battle formation. Hence, there was no difference between attacking the weakest expert in the combat formation and attacking the strongest expert. Naturally, there were some unique techniques in the long history of Realm Heart Great Land that could target a single member of the combat formation, rendering the combat formation ineffective. For instance, Curse Technique, Prophecy Technique, or Karma Destruction Technique, or Yin-Yang Rotation Killing Technique. He executed 2 spear techniques one after another. Monarch Greedy Peng praised, "The first spear technique is very elusive. It did not pierce through the combat formation, yet a spear shadow pierced through the chest of a primal chaos expert, causing a bloody hole to appear. Furthermore, his body turned into many fragments before dissipating from the world. Those 3 weaker primal chaos experts died in such a manner. Amen, right? His spear did not pierce through the combat formation, but there were vague spear shadows flashing past, causing a bloody hole to appear on the chests of the 3 primal chaos experts before their bodies disintegrated into many fragments. Everyone present was extraordinary. Either cosmos gods or 10th-level existences could make an accurate judgment. The second spear technique is the 12th style of our Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, Void Shatter. 3 consecutive spear strikes landed on the body of Old Devil Xuefu. Monarch Greedy Peng said, "Void Shatter is only at the God Yuan Palace 9th level. Its power is slightly greater, though it is slightly clumsy and direct. It is easy to defend against. But in the hands of the Snow Eagle Prince, the moment the spear had appeared, it had arrived by the side of Old Devil Xuefu. Old Devil Xuefu could not defend against a single move at all. Although the power of the Shattering Void is great, and Old Demon Xuefu's body isn't considered strong, he was still killed in just 3 spears. The spear in young Master Snow Eagle's hand must be an extremely powerful treasure. This will allow the Void Shatter technique to unleash even greater power," Emperor Greedy Peng said. Everyone present nodded. First, break the battle formation. Without the protection of the battle formation, Old Demon Xuefu's survivability was greatly reduced. However, killing him with just 3 spears was too exaggerated. There was only one explanation. That spear was a terrifying secret treasure. That's not even the best. A grin appeared on the face of Southern Cloud King. He chuckled. Breaking the combat formation technique, and the secret spear treasure in his hand. These are secondary. The most formidable aspect of this Yingshan Snow Eagle is his domain technique. How perfect was the Bloodcloth Devil's Law domain. It was able to suppress all fluctuations. But Snow Eagle could still control the void, allowing his spear to easily appear by the side of Devil Shuefu. It was fine if it appeared because according to logic, Devil Shuefu should be able to sense traces of the void transformation and should be able to defend against it in time. But in reality, he was a 9th level expert and an expert who excelled in close combat. Yet he could not defend against a single move from the other party. Clearly, his control of the void is too formidable. He can execute it instantaneously without leaving any traces. Amen. Yes. Everyone present turned solemn. That's right. To prevent a 9th level expert from defending against a single move, this domain technique was indeed horrifying. It was precisely because of this terrifying domain that the originally clumsy shattering void was able to display its miraculous effect. He could not even defend against it. How terrifying. Everyone present was aghast. Old Mother, congratulations. Empress Ghostly praised. Ha ha ha, Old Mother. The Yingshan clan has produced an amazing young fellow. Monarch Skying chuckled. Old Mother Yingshan was also grinning. She had some deductions in her heart. In the fragmented records regarding the earliest experts in Realm Heart Great Land, Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master was famous for not being afraid of group battles, and his void domain was terrifying. Great Paragon Lu Tian, who had an extremely high status in the Fan clan, mentioned that Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master wasn't any weaker than him. Nonetheless, that era was before the First War of the Ancient Nations. Many cultivation techniques had yet to be created, and Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master was too arrogant and died in the end. If one could grasp more survival secret techniques in this era, it would be harder for one to die. Even someone as arrogant as Snowhook King was still alive. Little fellow Snow Eagle, is this the reason why you wanted to get this spearhead in the past? Old Mother Yingshan guessed inwardly. The smile on her old face became more radiant. It was just 300 million cosmos crystals, yet it allowed her clan's disciple Yingshan Snow Eagle to learn such a cultivation technique and reach his current strength. It was absolutely worth it. Southern Cloud Capital Fan Clan Residence. This, Fan Tian Chong's eyes widened. Quite a few others by the side stood up abruptly. They were looking at the scene on the heaven observation mirror with horror. What a fellow. This is too frightening. Fan Tian Chong muttered inwardly. His judgment was incredibly sharp. Furthermore, the inheritance of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master's lineage could only be found in one place in the entire Realm Heart Great Land, within the Fan clan. That was a secret importation within the clan, because they were clear how powerful the Scarlet Cloud combat technique was. He always wanted that spearhead, and he relied on it to comprehend the combat technique of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master? Fan Tian Chong muttered inwardly. This comprehension ability is too frightening. Comprehending a combat technique, just by relying on the inscriptions on a secret treasure? It was not much different from creating a combat technique by himself. If he had the complete absolute art to guide him, it would be much easier. Fortunately, he could at most comprehend some of the weaker parts of Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master's combat technique. The truly profound parts aren't that easy to comprehend. Fan Tian Chong muttered inwardly. Dark Great Lake within a grand palace hall. The three famous religious masters in Realm Heart Great Land were seated at the highest position. Below them were the 7 cosmos gods and the group of devil masters. Everyone was originally in a relaxed atmosphere as they watched the scene projected on the heaven observation mirror. To them, this was a joyous banquet. They were extremely happy to see their subordinates being blood sacrificed in the Southern Cloud Nation. Amen. How could this be? How could this be possible? They were all stunned. Even the 3 religious masters seated high above were startled. For a moment, the joyous atmosphere in the palace hall disappeared. It became silent. Who is this young man? How could he be so powerful? Which 10th level expert from Realm Heart Great Land is temporarily staying in the Ardent Fire City? Yama religious master, who sat at the center of the three religious masters, said indifferently. Clearly, he did not know who Yingshan Snow Eagle was. After all, given his identity, he disdained from knowing such information. Reporting to religious master, this young man is called Yingshan Snow Eagle. The incarnation of the thin green-haired old man immediately stood up. He respectfully answered, he is a disciple from the Yingshan clan. When he was born, many people in the outer world, including the Summer Wind Ancient Nation, Snow Hook Nation, Maple Nest Nation, and other neighboring nations, as well as some from the Moonflower Ancient Nation, had immediately noticed this white-robed young man. They were startled by the strength of this young man and began collecting detailed information about him. But in the Ardent Fire City, the battle was still ongoing. What? The muscular male with the curved horn, Chen Niu, who was originally filled with killing intent and was currently leading 3 subordinates to attack Marquis Ardent Fire and the others, was so frightened that his expression changed. He was able to climb step by step from the lowest level of the Black Devil Great Lake to where he was now. Seeking luck and avoiding calamity was practically an instinct of Chen Niu. Hurry up and leave, Chen Niu shouted. Leave. The other 3 primal chaos devils quivered. They were completely frightened. The subordinates led by old devil Xue Fu were not any weaker than them, yet they were exterminated in the blink of an eye. Hong. The 4 primal chaos devils retreated. They maintained their domain, preventing Dongbua Shueying from teleporting close to them. When they reached a distance of 50,000 kilometers away from Marquis Ardent Fire, they immediately removed the law domain suppression and teleported away. Go. Too terrifying. Hurry up and leave. We'll die if we're late. The other 4 teams of Unity Realm devils within the Marquis Dom were instinctively teleporting away. Even the 3 primal chaos devils led by old devil Xue Fu were exterminated in an instant. So who would go and obstruct that white-robed young man? That pure and holy white-robed male, who was originally seated cross-legged at the center of the Ardent Fire City, had a slight change in expression. He did not hesitate to keep the blood sacrificial magic bottle in front of him. At the same time, he transmitted an order. The blood sacrifice will temporarily stop. Temporarily forbid killing. Yes. The teams of devils scattered across the Ardent Fire City acknowledged the order, causing those cultivators who were fleeing in despair to fall into a daze. Those teams of devils actually stopped. The magic bottle was temporarily kept. At this moment, even if they were to kill, the strand of origin energy that dissipated from their souls would be wasted. It was better to temporarily let those cultivators live a little longer. Yingshan Snow Eagle? White Cloud Devil Master kept the blood sacrificial magic bottle. His gaze landed on that white-robed young man standing above the Marquis Dom. Chapter 1051. Within the Ardent Fire Marquis Dom, the Yingshan clan members who were originally fleeing in all directions stopped. They saw the white-robed young man who had teleported to the side of Marquis Ardent Fire. Why are the devils leaving? It's Prince Snow Eagle. Prince Shueying has just killed 4 primal chaos devils with just a few moves. What for primal chaos devils? Aren't they qualified to be conferred marquises? Right, they were all killed in the blink of an eye. All the devils have been scared away. The soldiers by the side of Marquis Ardent Fire and the Yingshan clan members who witnessed that battle were frantically spreading the news. Many clansmen within the Marquis Dom were looking at Dongbua Shueying with eyes filled with worship. Too formidable. Even the 5,000 Ardent Fire elites led by Marquis Ardent Fire were completely suppressed. Prince Snow Eagle had killed 4 primal chaos devils and scared away all the other devils? At this moment, in the hearts of many Yingshan clan members within the Marquis Dom, the status of Prince Snow Eagle had rapidly risen. It had already surpassed the status of Marquis Ardent Fire. Too formidable. Too heaven-defying. This is an absolute expert from our Yingshan clan. Many Yingshan clan disciples felt honored. Their hearts were filled with pride. They were all looking at that figure in midair with worship. Snow Eagle, your strength is simply... Marquis Ardent Fire looked at the white-robed young man in front with disbelief. Grandpa Marquis, this battle has yet to end. There is still White Cloud Devil Master amongst them. Dong Wuxia said. In case they deal with you and disturb my heart, I'll temporarily keep all of you into my Eden treasure. All right. Marquis Ardent Fire nodded. He understood that he would only be a burden in a battle between experts at the level of Yingshan Snow Eagle and White Cloud Devil Master. Who? Dong Wuxia waved his hand. Marquis Ardent Fire, and the 5,000 Ardent Fire elites by his side did not resist at all. They were kept into the Eden treasure. Following that, Dong Wuxia disappeared. Formed the Great Black Devil Combat Formation. Over at the side of the Southern Cloud Sacred Palace, the 12 Primal Chaos experts worked together to attack the incarnation of Monarch Chunyu. And at this moment, Chunyu led the 3 Primal Chaos experts over. They could feel how terrifying that white-robed young man was, and immediately wanted to construct the Great Black Devil Combat Formation. The Black Demon Battle Formation was extremely complex. Usually, only Primal Chaos experts could arrange it. They were all 4 Primal Chaos experts working together. And if it was the Great Black Demon Combat Formation, it would be formed by 4 Black Demon Combat Formations. And that would be a total of 16 Primal Chaos experts. Currently, there were exactly 16 here. We have 4 ninth-level existences here, and 12 other Primal Chaos existences. If we form the Great Black Devil Battle Formation, we should be able to suppress a Devil Master. These Primal Chaos existences were all filled with confidence. Stupid. White Cloud Devil Master teleported. Devil Master. The 16 Primal Chaos Devils respectfully greeted. Didn't you see that Xue Fu and the others were killed in an instant? Battle formations are a joke in front of young Master Snow Eagle. His spear techniques can completely attack the weaklings in battle formations. White Cloud Devil Master said coldly. Everyone present was shocked. What, attacking the weaklings? Techniques that could disregard battle formations and attack the weaklings were not easily taught to others. Furthermore, it was hard to grasp and learn them. The 4 of you stay behind. The other Primal Chaos existences should temporarily retreat. White Cloud Devil Master waved his hand, keeping the other 12 Primal Chaos existences into his Eden treasure. Those devils did not resist. They were willing to temporarily hide, and were at ease hiding with White Cloud Devil Master. After all, if the battle formation was useless, these 7th and 8th level Primal Chaos existences would only end up being slaughtered in front of young Master Snow Eagle. The 4 of you, arrange a battle formation together and watch from the side. White Cloud Devil Master said. Yes. Chunyu and the other 3 9th level Primal Chaos existences immediately arranged a battle formation. For a moment, all of them displayed the techniques they were good at. Thunder and fire surged in the surroundings, and there were also strange ripples. There were even black clouds spreading out. Every single one of their techniques wasn't any weaker than Xue Fu's. And the 4 of them were even more amazing when they worked together. Naturally, they could remain calm by the side. Leave this young Master Snow Eagle to me. White Cloud Devil Master stood calmly before the Southern Cloud Sacred Palace. Within the Southern Cloud Sacred Palace, many mechanisms were shut down. Within the innermost cultivation room, Chunyu and the others were hiding here. Yingshan Snow Eagle? Chunyu was also controlling part of the arrays, covering the entire Ardent Fire City. He was constantly sensing the entire Ardent Fire City and saw how Dong Wuxia easily killed Old Devil Xue Fu and the other 3 Primal Chaos existences. We have hope. We have hope of surviving. The eyes of Chunyu brightened. Hallmaster. Many people outside are spreading the news saying that young Master Snow Eagle has killed 4 Primal Chaos existences, frightening the devils to a halt. The others hiding within the cultivation room said. Chunyu nodded. He was slightly nervous. We still have to wait a while. Given his identity, he was naturally clear how terrifying that pure and holy white-robed male outside the palace was. That was a devil master from the Black Devil Great Lake, Misty Cloud Pavilion. What, the devils have stopped? Brother Lai Hu, I've heard that your son, young Master Snow Eagle, has come out of closed-door cultivation. He killed 4 Primal Chaos existences in one go, frightening those devils. By the window of a pavilion in the Misty Cloud Pavilion, Pavilion Master Chun Yufeng and Ying Shanlai, who were peeking stealthily from the window, they could see many teams of devils standing in midair. The teams of devils had stopped at this moment. They were no longer massacring. "It's my son," Ying Shanlai, who was currently blinking his eyes. "I still dare to lie. It is my big brother who told me personally. You better be careful. My big brother has ordered me to protect you." The plump Chun Yufeng was also nervous. He was carefully looking outside. South, a white-robed young man appeared out of nowhere. Ying Shanlai, who stared at this white-robed young man in a daze. Chun Yufeng widened his eyes even more. "Prince Snow Eagle." "Father, there is no need to resist," Dongbo Shuang said. "AI." Ying Shanlai, who rapidly nodded. Dongbo Shuang waved his hand and kept his father into his Eden treasure. Following that, he turned his gaze to the distance. He could see a pure and holy white-robed male standing there calmly. Dongbo Shuang understood that the other party was waiting for him. South, Dongbo Shuang teleported over. In front of the Southern Cloud Sacred Palace, including Chun Nyo, there were 4 9th-level experts standing by the side. Their auras were grand. All of them were staring coldly at the white-robed young man who appeared out of nowhere. Why is this Prince Snow Eagle from the Yingshan clan so powerful? Marquis Ardent Fire's luck is too good. Originally, Xue Fu and I could kill Marquis Ardent Fire in a short time. Chun Nyo thought. There's no rush. Wait until we get rid of this Prince Snow Eagle. By then killing Marquis Ardent Fire will be simple. And on the other side, Dongbo Shuang was also looking at the opponent in front of him. He did not dare to belittle the 4 primal chaos devils in front of him, because every single member of those 4 was powerful. When they formed a combat formation, it would be even more frightening. Naturally, the greatest threat was this White Cloud Devil Master in front of him. The fame of White Cloud Devil Master in the Black Devil 4 nations was sufficient to strike terror into the hearts of many clans. His fame was forged from the corpses of many people, and he could suppress new cosmos gods. If it were in his previous life, he was not the opponent of White Cloud Devil Master, even at his peak. But in this life, he was fortunate to obtain this complete Scarlet Cloud God Spear. He cultivated for 1.5 billion years, and he was not afraid of him. Prince Snow Eagle. White Cloud Devil Master said. His voice was calm. White Cloud Devil Master. Dongbo Shuang said. The end of the Scarlet Cloud God's spear in his hand smashed on the ground, emitting a chong sound that reverberated in the surroundings. White Cloud Devil Master chuckled. Prince Snow Eagle. Who would have thought that such a genius expert like you would appear in the Southern Cloud Nation? If it were during ordinary times, I would likely invite you for a few cups of wine. Reaching your level, it is rare for you to fight to the death. It's a pity that this is the day of blood sacrifice, and it represents the face of my Black Devil Great Lake. I have to kill you. It's a pity that such a genius would die the moment he appeared. Oh, White Cloud Devil Master has quite an arrogant tone. He is much stronger than you, Dongbo Shuang said. Across various regions in the Realm Heart Great Land, the various organizations watching the battle were inwardly startled. This Snow Eagle Prince was quite daring. Haha, White Cloud Devil Master did not seem angry. Instead, his pure and holy aura became denser. If you were given sufficient time to perfect your strength, it would be hard for me to kill you. As for now, those newly advanced cosmos gods who have yet to perfect their strength aren't my opponent. Much less you. You can forget about shaking my heart, Dongbo Shuang said. That's fine too. White Cloud Devil Master softly nodded. I believe there should be quite a few organizations in the Realm Heart Great Land watching the battle from afar. Dying in such a battle isn't a disgrace to you. Receive my move. The moment he finished speaking, clouds and fog suddenly appeared in the surrounding region spanning 5 million kilometers. Every cloud and fog was rolling. They seemed weak, yet they contained an incomparably frightening power. Everywhere they passed through, those pavilions and residences were all razed to the ground with a rumble. Even though the distant cultivators had already fled far away and did not dare to get close, the region spanning 5 million kilometers was too big. Some of the weaker cultivators did not manage to escape far before they were engulfed by the clouds and exterminated. Within the region spanning 5 million kilometers, even the outer structures of the southern cloud sacred palace were shattered. Only the core palace that was flickering with the light of the array was barely resisting against the clouds. This cloud and fog had also reached where Dongbushuang was. Chapter 1052. Those weaker cultivators were killed by the shockwaves. Dongbushuang's pupils dilated. He could not save them in time since the enemy could unleash his domain with a thought. Don't think that this Snow Eagle Prince is powerful. Who knows, he might turn into dust under the domain of Devil Master. He has been in closed-door cultivation for 1.5 billion years. I doubt he has any powerful protective secret treasures. His southern cloud sacred body doesn't seem to have been cultivated to a high realm either. I'm afraid he might not be able to resist against the domain of Devil Master. Not far away, the 4 9th-level experts were discussing among themselves. They were filled with confidence in White Cloud Devil Master. Hong, the rolling clouds rushed towards Dongbushuang. Break! Dongbushuang wielded the Scarlet Cloud God Spear in his hand. With a thought, the Scarlet Cloud domain erupted. One could see the void in the surrounding 5 million kilometers surging like waves. Every void wave contained many ripples that fiercely clashed against the clouds. This rolling cloud clashed against the void wave. Almost instantaneously, the void wave weakened, and the rolling cloud wave was left with 5 to 6 layers of power that rampaged in all directions. It is indeed the cloud scripture from the 10 holy scriptures. It is famous for being tyrannical. My Scarlet Cloud domain specializes in controlling the void. It is slightly weaker in terms of direct suppression, Dongbushuang thought. Hong Long Long. The rolling clouds clashed against the body of Dongbushuang. Nevertheless, the surrounding void distorted. These clouds were deflected to the surrounding. In addition, there was a strange spatial maelstrom fluctuation around Dongbushuang. It was as if there were 3 void stairs revolving around his body, isolating all incoming energy. It could be said to be untouchable by myriad techniques. What? The 4 spectating 9th-level experts were startled. He withstood it head-on. This is a cultivation technique from the 10 holy scriptures. In terms of cultivation difficulty, the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles was relatively simple. But in terms of power, even though it was top-notch, only the 2 secret importation techniques had reached the 10th level power. There were quite a few secret importation techniques in the 6 great ancient nations that were above the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. Of course, the price of cultivation was also higher. For the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles, to reach the 10th level power, one had to first reach the 10th level grand perfection in the Southern Cloud sacred body. This was equivalent to cultivating one's body into a perfect secret treasure. Just the various precious materials required would cost about 2 billion cosmos crystals. Furthermore, these precious materials were rarely seen. It was very difficult to buy it even if one had universe crystals. And the technique that White Cloud Demon Master cultivated had an even greater origin. It was one of the supreme scriptures from one of the 6 great ancient nations, the Myriad Realms Ancient Nation, that was faintly stronger than the Summer Wind Ancient Nation, the Cloud Scripture of the 10 Holy Scriptures. Just learning the portion up to the 10th level, and the required rare materials, cost a total of 5 billion cosmos crystals. The moment he succeeded, not only would his survival capabilities not be any weaker than a large success Southern Cloud sacred body, he would even have a domain technique that could reach the 10th level power and several other killing moves. What you displayed wasn't the Southern Cloud 12 sacred styles. White Cloud Devil Master chuckled as he strolled over. You take one of my moves as well. Dongbushuang immediately pulled out his spear. The suppression strength of the Scarlet Cloud domain was slightly weaker than the other party, but the void distortion was much stronger. Even though the distance between them was very far, Dongbushuang's spear had strangely reached the forehead of White Cloud Devil Master the moment it pierced out. White Cloud Devil Master's palm had already blocked in front of his forehead. The spear tip pierced through his palm. The spear tip collapsed and was destroyed. Pung! Even half of White Cloud Devil Master's palm was blasted apart. He frowned slightly, and the cloud around his palm rapidly condensed back to its original state. What a formidable void domain. Even I can't suppress it. I can barely sense the traces of your spear. White Cloud Devil Master continued speaking casually. His palm abruptly waved out. His palm abruptly turned bigger. It spanned a few tens of thousands of kilometers. It was as if a huge cloud had formed a palm that rumbled as it pressed down on Dongbuo. Break! Dongbuo did not dodge. Instead, he directly pierced his spear at that enormous palm. Hong! The palm fiercely slammed onto the ground, causing a huge crater to appear. But this white cloud palm also had a hole on it, and it rapidly condensed back to its original state. Beneath the huge crater, there was a bottomless hole. You didn't die from my slap, did you? White Cloud Devil Master sneered as he looked at the hole. Following that, the rumbling clouds continued to destroy the depths of the earth. Xiao! A spear shadow suddenly pierced through the sky, directly piercing out of the ground. Following that, it strangely appeared in front of White Cloud Devil Master's chest. He did not even have time to block, and the spear had already pierced through his chest. Wang! White Cloud Devil Master's entire body trembled, and the enormous palm that he had formed trembled. So fast, White Cloud Devil Master's expression changed. He took a deep breath, and instantly, the clouds surged into his mouth. His body's strength was clearly increasing. Dongbuo also shot out from the ground and landed on the ground. Void Shatter is only a 9th level move. Even with the help of the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear, it is only at the peak of the 9th level. Although it is known for its power, and is barely comparable to a 10th level move, even with the help of the Scarlet Cloud Domain, White Cloud Devil Master was still able to block it. His body is unpredictable, and it does not affect his strength at all. Instead, the 9th level peak Void Shatter is slightly weaker, but more unpredictable. His opponent was unable to block it. He had obtained the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear for 1.5 billion years, and had created 5 killer moves. One of them was a combination attack. Since he did not have any clones, he naturally could not use it. As for the other 4 killer moves, the strongest was the Scarlet Cloud Domain. After comprehending the mystical runes of the Divine Spear, the Scarlet Cloud Domain reached the 9th level. The difficulty of this was no less than creating a 9th level move. With the help of the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear, he could unleash 10th level power. This was currently Dongbuo Ying's only 10th level move. As for the other killer moves, they were only at the peak of the 8th level. With the help of the spear, they could only reach the 9th level peak. No other choice. In his previous life, he had only created 2 9th level moves. Even if he had the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear, and even if he cultivated the Void Lineage 1.5 billion years was ultimately too short. It was already amazing for him to deduce a move that reached the 9th level. As for the Southern Cloud 12 Sacred Styles, because he had too few treasures, and the Southern Cloud Sacred Body was only at the 8th level, he could not cultivate the 2 secret importation styles. Even though the secret treasure spear was powerful, it could only unleash the power at the peak of the 9th level. After all, the Scarlet Cloud Divine Spear and that Scarlet Cloud combat technique were the most compatible. The 5 killer moves that Dongbuo deduced were actually just a small portion of the Scarlet Cloud combat technique. Die for me. After failing consecutively, White Cloud Devil Master felt slightly frustrated. He swallowed the endless white fog, causing his body to condense to the limit. This was another combat technique of the Cloud Scripture. Kill. He directly charged over. His speed was fast, and with a Hong Long, he punched out. A spear clashed against that fist. Dongbuo clearly wanted to clash head-on. But in the end, a surging force was transmitted over through the spear. Even when the spear in Dongbuo Ying's hand trembled, causing many void ripples to appear on the surface of the spear, he was merely able to dissipate a portion of the force. His entire body could not help but turn into a stream of light as he flew backwards. Hong! His body smashed heavily against the ground, creating a ravine that was several hundred kilometers long. Given enough time, you might be able to defeat me. But now, you aren't my opponent. White Cloud Devil Master's figure flashed. He chased after Dongbo Shuiying, slapping his palm over once again. Pung pung pung. Even though Dongbo Shuiying executed his spear, he would be sent flying after brushing against it. At this moment, White Cloud Devil Master was extremely ferocious. Pooh! Even though there were 3 layers of maelstrom stairs revolving around Dongbo Shuiying's body, he could not help but spurt out a mouthful of fresh blood. I'm still lacking when fighting head-on with you. Dongbo Shuiying grinned. He had finally experienced the strength of a 10th level expert in Realm Heart Great Land. White Cloud Devil Master was stunned. I'm not going to play with you anymore. Dongbo Shuiying turned around and left. Escaping? White Cloud Devil Master abruptly opened his mouth. His head rapidly enlarged. His mouth felt like it could devour the world as it swallowed towards Dongbo Shuiying. Clearly, he wanted to devour the other party in a single mouthful. He could see that this Snow Eagle Prince only had some formidable protective cultivation technique. His body was not considered strong. As long as he ate him, he could use his secret technique to refine Dongbo Shuiying into powder. He had once swallowed an expert from Fiery Zhao Nation, who had just broken through to the 10th level, trapping him within his body. The enemy could not escape at all. White Cloud's sacred body forcefully refined and crushed the enemy for a total of several tens of thousands of years. Eventually, the enemy could no longer hold on. Fiery Zhao Nation King personally negotiated with the Black Devil Great Lake. Only after paying a huge price did White Cloud Devil Master agree to release the enemy. South, Dongbo Shuiying naturally understood the other party's heaven-devouring refinement-killing move. With a sway of his body, he appeared several tens of thousands of kilometers away, arriving where the 4 9th-level experts were. Under the Scarlet Cloud domain, even if he could not teleport, he could distort the void and travel a great distance with a single step. Damn! White Cloud Devil Master's expression changed. This Snow Eagle's domain is too strange. He can fight whenever he wants and leave whenever he wants. The Scarlet Cloud domain, that reached the 10th level, was clearly terrifying. For instance, the Cloud Scripture was something the Myriad Realms ancient nation was willing to impart to others, as long as they paid a sufficient price. But the Scarlet Cloud combat technique was unique to the Fan clan within the Summer Wind ancient nation. According to rumors, only the 3 great clans within the Summer Wind ancient nation could learn it after paying a huge price. As for those outside the nation, they were not allowed to learn it. The stronger the technique, the harder it was to learn it. Since I can't kill White Cloud, killing you all is fine too. Dongbo Shuiying grinned at the 4 9th-level experts in front of him. Audacious. Savage. These 4 9th-level devils were infuriated. They had already formed a combat formation, and were not afraid of White Cloud Devil Master. So why would they be afraid of the Snow Eagle? Let's work together and kill him. White Cloud Devil Master roared out. Even though he was proud, he understood that he could not kill the Snow Eagle Prince by himself. Chapter 1053. At this moment, the 4 9th-level experts formed into a combat formation. They were filled with ferocious might. They dared to suppress even devil masters, and were naturally confident. At that moment, a white-haired blood-robed old man lightly waved his sleeves. It seemed like a light breeze, but it was actually a killing move. After all, not every primal chaos expert loved close combat. For instance, in his previous life, Dongbo Shuiying rarely engaged in close combat, when he comprehended the Mirage and Illusory realm. Dongbo Shuiying's expression changed slightly. His Crimson Cloud domain, which he had been maintaining all this time, instantly felt a very slight ripple. The white-haired, crimson-robed elder had merely waved his sleeve, and the ripple had instantly reached him. Even his Crimson Cloud domain had not been able to shift it away in time. Clearly, after the battle formation had reached the 10th level, it had naturally become even more extraordinary. Wang. The fluctuations instantly attacked. The three whirlpool stairs around Dongbo Shuiying's body forcefully blocked off 70 to 80% of the force, allowing the remaining force to invade his entire body, causing his body and soul to tremble violently. The 8th level of the Southern Cloud Sacred Body was ultimately too weak in a battle at this level. Fortunately, Dongbo Shuiying's realm was high enough, and he had a deep understanding of voidification. Ordinary bloodline cultivators mainly relied on secret arts. On the other hand, Dongbo Shuiying also cultivated the laws of profound mysteries. Even though his body was very weak, he was still able to use an extremely profound technique called voidification. After all, in his previous life, Emperor Jiyun's inheritance and Walker's hidden secret placed great emphasis on voidification. He had once comprehended the scaled armor of General Mogu. At that time, he wanted to reach the pinnacle of voidification at the primal chaos realm. Unfortunately, not too long after he obtained the scale armor, he was forced to reincarnate against the sacred master. But in the aspect of voidification, his foundation was incredibly deep. By relying on the laws and profound mysteries, he was able to weaken the attack by 90%, allowing the Southern Cloud Sacred Body to resist against it. His body should be quite weak, but he managed to resist it. The old man in a blood-red robe gritted his teeth and waved his robe several times. Hoo. Although Dongbo Shuiying could feel his body trembling, it did not affect his ability to fight. The Realm Heart Great Land is unlike the Primal Chaos Void. There were even more combat methods here. So if you want to live, you have to make up for every shortcoming. Dongbo Shuiying understood this point. Currently, his weakest aspect was his fleshy body. There was a gap of 2 levels between the 8th and 10th level Southern Cloud Sacred Body. This was a qualitative gap. 2 levels usually resulted in a large-scale massacre. At this moment, regardless of whether it was White Cloud Devil Master or the 4 9th level cultivators in the combat formation, they were all displaying the strength of a 10th level cultivator. Die! White Cloud Devil Master didn't care about his reputation and launched a sneak attack. He opened his bloody mouth and was about to swallow him whole. Dongbo Shuiying hastily dodged a few thousand li away. At the same time, the spear in his hand slashed out furiously. With a swing of the spear, it landed right next to White Cloud Devil Master's mouth. Hung long. White Cloud Devil Master's body was not damaged at all. His body only trembled slightly, and his attack was affected. Boom! A thunderfire descended abruptly. Its speed was fast. Even though it could not match up to that ripple, which had no gaps in between, Dongbo Shuiying did not have the time to dodge. A thunderfire directly struck his body, though his body seemed to be in another world. The thunderfire then bombarded on the ground, causing a bottomless pit to form. I was attacked twice consecutively? Dongbo Shuiying felt his body turning numb. White Cloud Devil Master had launched another sneak attack. Of the 4 9th level cultivators, Chunyo finally commanded the entire combat formation to attack. Because the power of the combat formation had to be concentrated on one person before it could erupt with a 10th level power. Hence, he could only attack in sequence. If he attacked at the same time, the power would be greatly reduced. A great axe appeared in Chunyo's hand as he hacked over. He was a close combat expert. Fortunately, the other 2 are slightly slower. Dongbo Shuiying let out a sigh of relief. He had long understood the 9th level devils and knew what techniques they specialized in. Some techniques could not be dodged at all, like his illusory realm technique and the destruction flower in the past. They could directly descend upon him. He could not evade them and could only endure them. This time, one of the 4 9th level devils specialized in the ripple annihilation technique. It was also an instantaneous attack that could not be dodged. That thunderfire had some hope of evading, but its speed was too fast, and this fleshy body of his was too weak. Hence, he did not have the time to move and was struck. But the following 2 were slightly better. Hong! 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 Chunyo commanded the combat formation, and White Cloud Devil Master to engage in close combat. Their techniques were ever-changing, and they could coordinate with each other, greatly increasing their threat. Nonetheless, Dongbo Shuiying's figure was incredibly elusive. Furthermore, when he brandished his spear, there were many strange void rivers revolving around his spear. His spear was like a river, borrowing the force of the other party to fight against the other party. Despite fighting 1 against 2, he was fighting to his heart's content. Restrain! Chunyo retreated. It was a cold young man who commanded the combat formation. Hong. At that moment, a dark green snake condensed in an attempt to restrain Dongbo Shuang. I must not be restrained. Dongbo Shuang understood this point. The moment he was restrained, White Cloud Devil Master would devour him in a single gulp. That would be troublesome. The 4 experts in the combat formation had several killing moves of their own. At this moment, all of them were unleashing their peak 10th level power. They were coordinating with White Cloud Devil Master to kill Dongbo Shuang. And in the southern cloud capital, within the residence of the Fan clan, this strength is unquestionably at the 10th level. Fan Tianchong looked at the heaven observation mirror, while praising in his heart. He grasped a 10th level technique in just 1.5 billion years. Even though there were many experts in the realm Heart Great Land, and many formidable cultivation techniques, and the disciples he nurtured were amazing, he could be considered an absolute genius. He might be slightly better amongst the geniuses in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation and Myriad Realms Ancient Nation, but in the Southern Cloud Nation, he was the most heaven-defying genius in history. He is indeed displaying the Scarlet Cloud combat technique, but I wonder how far he has comprehended it. Fan Tianchong thought. He did not cultivate the void lineage after all. It was hard for him to make an accurate judgment just by relying on the heaven observation mirror. He had also transmitted this news to the inner circle of the clan. Very soon, a piece of news came from within the clan. According to my deduction, that spear in the hand of Yingshan Snow Eagle should be the Scarlet Cloud magic spear that Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master used in the past. He should have comprehended the Scarlet Cloud magic spear and pondered over these killing techniques. Currently, he has already displayed the 4 great killing techniques of the Scarlet Cloud combat technique. Since he has comprehended 4 of them, with his comprehension ability, he should have comprehended the 5th killing technique, the combination technique. Compared to the complete Scarlet Cloud combat technique, he is only lacking the Scarlet Cloud magic body. The Scarlet Cloud magic body was famous for being undying across myriad tribulations. But he should have deduced his domain to the limit, reaching the 9th level power. By relying on the Scarlet Cloud magic spear, he could unleash the 10th level power. As for the other 3 great killing techniques, he could only reach the peak of the 9th level by relying on the Scarlet Cloud magic spear. With his comprehension ability, he should be able to comprehend the primal chaos realm portion of the 5 great killing techniques of the Scarlet Cloud combat technique, given sufficient time. That Scarlet Cloud magic spear is slightly wasted to him. Tianchong, try and see if you can buy the Scarlet Cloud magic spear from Yingshan Snow Eagle. Fan Tianchong pondered over the news transmitted from within the clan. The clan did not care too much about it, because in the entire realm Heart Great Land, it was still the cosmos gods who determined the foundation of a superpower. Hence, the most precious portion of the Scarlet Cloud combat technique was the cosmos god portion. Many cosmos gods did not have any formidable absolute arts, and could only reach the 10th level strength. They were at the same level as White Cloud Devil Master and Dongbo Shuang. Wanting to become stronger? It was too difficult to learn the cosmos god portion of a powerful absolute art. Cosmos gods would usually be forced to rely on a huge superpower, like the 6 great ancient nations. From then on, they would fight for the 6 great ancient nations. Only then could they obtain the profound portion. Just like the cloud scripture of the 10 holy scriptures, it could be imparted to others, though it was limited to the 10th level. Wanting to become more profound? Go and fight for my Myriad Realms ancient nation. That was equivalent to selling yourself. The moment one joined, he would be restricted by various secret techniques, making it hard for him to betray the nation. It is a waste to give the Scarlet Cloud magic spear to this Yingshan Snow Eagle. Fan Tianchong thought. Such a powerful secret treasure can be given to cosmos gods, who cultivate the Scarlet Cloud combat technique. Summer Wind Ancient Nation. There were still a few cosmos gods who cultivated the Scarlet Cloud combat technique. Of course, there was only one who cultivated it to grand perfection, and was not any weaker than Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master in the past. He was a sacred paragon from the Tsong clan, one of the 3 great clans in the Summer Wind Ancient Nation. Strictly speaking, this sacred paragon was slightly stronger than Scarlet Cloud Paragon Master in the past. After all, he had experienced 2 War of the Ancient Nations, and currently, he had many more absolute art secret techniques and survival techniques. That sacred paragon did not need this Scarlet Cloud magic spear, because he had already refined a powerful secret treasure suitable for him. But there were still several other cosmos gods who needed it in the ancient nation. I have to get it, but I can't snatch it openly, Fan Tianchong pondered. After all, he has a 10th level strength, and Southern Cloud King will definitely protect him. In the Southern Cloud Nation, there were 3 monarchs and 5 10th level conferred kings. These were the most important forces under the Southern Cloud King, and he was willing to protect them at all costs. He did not allow the Fan clan to snatch them away. If Dongbo Shueying was a weak conferred marquis, the Fan clan could snatch him away stealthily. I have to think of a way, Fan Tianchong thought. Within the bamboo house surrounded by a stream, the violet-robed girl Qianni Xiao, who was originally embroidering calmly, stood there in a daze. The embroidery needle in her hand fell to the ground. What? Qianni Xiao did not dare believe it. 10th level strength? Qianni Xiao was startled. Her Qianni clan did not even have a 10th level strength in the Southern Cloud Nation. During crucial moments, they had to dispatch experts from the Moonflower Ancient Nation. 10th level strength, across the entire Black Devil 4 nations and Black Devil Great Lake. They were absolute experts. Even old Mother Yingshan dared to fall out with her Qianni clan. How could ordinary primal chaos experts dare to do so? That Yingshan Snow Eagle? He is so strong. Qianni Xiao frowned. Currently, the Yingshan clan had 2 10th level experts. In the future, she would have to change her strategy when dealing with the Yingshan clan. As Dongbo Shueying fought with White Cloud Devil Master and the 4 9th level experts in a combat formation, various parties were carefully determining the strength of Dongbo Shueying according to the battle scene. No matter what, some of the surrounding nations understood that another 10th level expert had emerged. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.